Hey everybody, welcome to the Pals Podcast. My name is George Boutsalis.
And I'm your other pal, Ricky Liorti.
Before you go any farther, we have one thing to say. Thanks so much to everybody who was tuned in and coming back to tune in again. We love you all and thank you for the support. For those of you who are new listeners, we ask one thing. Please take a second to go like, subscribe, and follow the Pals Podcast. You can do so on YouTube, Apple Music, Spotify, Instagram, TikTok, every social. We really appreciate you. Thank you so much.
And we'd like to give a special shout out to the people who keep the lights on for us, our sponsors. First is our presenting sponsor, Kingsville Brewery. Guys, we've been drinking this beer for the last probably 6 months now, and it is amazing. Most of you know me and Georgie aren't big beer drinkers, but this stuff goes down great. Premium, light, refreshing, perfect for the cottage, summer drinks with your friends, or hanging out and listening to the pals. They're available now for GTA delivery through Profile Wine Group. So definitely check them out. You can get it delivered directly to your door for a very cheap cost. So definitely check that out. And guys, again, if you haven't drank this, give it a shot because it is so good. So special shout out to them and give them a follow on Instagram and all of the socials at Kingsville Brewery. And Georgie, tell them about our other sponsor.
If you don't know, you're about to know. Our next sponsor is our baby, our passion project turned global social media app, taking over the world and fixing social media one vote at a time, Cast. Guys, I'm going to tell you what Cast is. Cast is a social voting app. We're on a mission to create a safe space to share your honest opinion and see an instant snapshot of what people really think. We're turning bystanders into active participants in every conversation. Now, you might say, George, doesn't social media like that already exist? Well, the answer is no, and you'd be wrong. Guys, there's a reason why we're doing what we're doing. Social media has become a place filled with subjective data, dishonest opinions, and biased narratives. We're bringing objective truth, honesty, and transparency to social media to create a real representation of what people really think. If you want to check out Cast and get on today and be part of the conversation, you can go to www.joincast.co/download. You can find Cast on the App Store and the Play Store. Just look for the purple C. And that's all. Without further ado, LFG.
Let's go.
So, Rick, tell us about your new career as a painter.
And he gets one laugh.
That was good.
One laugh.
I wanted to get on you. Am I in the shot?
Gets literally one laugh.
Doesn't matter. Danielle laughed. That's all that matters.
That's it.
Oh, for fuck's sakes.
It's okay.
Is I in or no?
Are we good?
Yeah, we're looking good.
It's been a while since we've actually done an episode. I think it's been like a 3-week hiatus.
Not really, eh?
Yeah, it's
I
like
figured you guys would be firing them out.
Do you know what?
Joe Rogan schedule.
Yeah, well, we
Our
actually,
North Star, right?
We wait for we only do this for a big guest, so we knew we had to wait for you guys.
Well, speaking of that, introduce yourselves then. Introduce yourselves.
We're John Famos, actually. We're a Toronto rock band, and I'm Travis, and this is Robbie. And
I'm Robbie.
yeah, we're a duo, but we have some other musicians we rip with because you need someone to play the bass, the drums. We switched over to music at 25, a little late in life. Actually, after starting our own podcast to figure life out.
Ooh.
So
okay.
it's been a journey. Competing actually.
Give the podcast a plug.
We're here to actually
get
industry
transitioned
secrets.
A bit. Yeah.
Okay.
It's no longer what it was. It's
Things
more
have changed.
Yeah.
Things have changed. COVID was a wild ride. But okay, quick story to bring you up to speed. We both went to Western like you guys. I think we can talk a lot about it.
What year you guys graduate?
2015.
Oh, so we would have overlapped for a year.
I'm 92 though. I took 5.
Wait.
Oh, so we would have overlapped for 2 years.
Oh, wait. I was wrong. I said 08. We started in 2012.
No, we graduated in 2012. We started in 08.
You're terrible with the
man.
I am bad today.
This guy
You're
could
off
not
the
say a
dates.
year for the life of him.
Guys, were you guys?
We started in 08. We started in 08.
I
We
am
graduated in
brain dead
2012.
today.
We're
What
both
the
90s.
Guys, I promise I am
Okay.
the smart one in the group. Like, that's not a joke.
And the conceited one.
Okay, quick. So we
yeah.
went to Western like you guys. A lot of mutual friends. We've seen like the guests you've had on, or like the people you've talked about at Western. We were also in a frat.
What frat?
We're in Sigma Chi.
Okay. Yeah, I'm ready.
How high does the eagle fly,
Oh,
baby?
Yeah, man.
the
Those are our
Robbie
boys.
Canton, yeah.
I heard you guys know the Sig Shake. We can do it after.
Yeah, the red light, green light party.
We
That was not what they said, but okay.
He's a Sigma Chi shaker.
no Sigma Chi Shake.
Oh.
You guys said on an
Rick
episode.
was not the best fraternity brother.
No, I was the worst. I don't
He
even
was
know
wait,
how
no,
to
he's a
shake.
good fraternity brother, but he just joined late, so he doesn't know the whole like.
I know that.
He was there more for moral support.
Now we know all the characters. We know the people that are there for the party, for the good time. The one that they may not be at all the meetings or whatever, but they'll bring in the DJ for the after party or like
That,
you know what I'm saying.
That's Rick. Yeah.
Still don't know the handshake.
But yeah, we went to Western and you're both doing our own thing. Like don't want to go into the whole stories, but left school. He moved to Toronto from London, and we were like lost little 20-somethings, I gave up a career in aviation, and then
I read that in the bio. I was like, what the fuck?
dude, it's whack, man. I don't like. That's why I don't want to. I'll take over if I start it. But anyway,
Robbie's like,
we got time.
We've
We
gone
got
down
time.
this train a couple times.
Robbie's heard the story so many
I've
times.
been here.
He zones out sometimes when I talk to him.
Yeah, don't bring up concussions either.
Yeah. Anyway, we left a career. He got dumped. He was in a bad place, and we're just like, what do we do? He was like, why don't we start a podcast to figure it out? Because we listen to a bunch of podcasts. We talk about it all the time. We called it Too Many Jams, a show about all things 20-year-old. It was, we had bright eyes, full hearts.
It was about having too many options.
Yeah, just can't decide. We're capable people, just couldn't figure it out. So we thought we'd just ask all of our friends what they're doing and how they figure it out. We did it for like 3 years. And
shit.
We had like
never
120 episodes.
You guys are vets.
We're vets, man. We've been in the trenches.
Well, man, once you hit 100, that's like a big milestone. That's how you know you're fucking doing it.
Well, then
Yeah.
we saw
Yeah.
we didn't know that anyone else was doing a big podcast in Toronto. We knew that there was like big podcasts, but we didn't see anyone like rep in Toronto or like in like a mutual friend group. So we just thought everyone was kind of like us. Like we have like maybe like 200 or 300 listeners. I think we have like 30 or 40,000 downloads, and never growing though. Like we never did the Ricky, like DMing people, like lots of like hitting people up. We just kind of whoever asked to come on or whatever. And over the course of doing that podcast, the first 6 months, we decided that like life was short. It seems that everyone that was doing what they wanted just kind of, what was the sentiment? Like they just,
It was more just like figure out things by doing it. Was kind of the general sentiment that we got from most people.
From
So
like
we're
your talking to your friends and everyone
Yeah.
telling you the stuff.
Yeah, because we were caught up too much and being like, oh, should we do this? Should we do that? And
Trying to pick the
hence,
right
like,
path
too
before we
many
took our first
options, right?
steps.
So we wanted to find something and just hop right in.
I can relate heavily to what you guys are talking about right now. I'm gonna make one comment, Robbie. I'm gonna pull the mic just a little closer.
A little
to you.
closer?
A little-
Yeah.
You're good
Cool,
there.
cool.
I can relate a lot to that. I'm sure like I'll just come in for a second. You guys can continue your story. So I really want to hear this. But I was at the same point, but I was at that point like later in life. So I was at like 27, and I had this like crossroads. I thought I had everything figured out till that point. Like I left school, went to family business. I thought I was gonna do, and then I hit this point where I'm like, oh, I don't know if I want to do this anymore. And I just decided to didn't start a podcast at that point. I just like quit and traveled the world for like a year. So I just started backpacking.
that's a spending money phase.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
more like let me just like live it up. But like honestly, it was a lot of it was like I learned a lot about myself. Like when you're out on the world in different countries and some sketchy places, like you really figure out who you are and you start to like really, I don't know, you just like develop and get more confidence and realize like, what I realized the most on that trip is like no one has anything figured out.
Yeah.
And that's like where I guess where you guys are going. Like everyone kind of said that like what you guys trying to figure out that people are talking about what they're doing. But the one thing that I've like learned over the years, especially now, myself included, everyone's figuring out along the way. Like most people who have made it still don't know shit. Like they're all just kind of figuring it out as you go. Most people have like, whether it's imposter syndrome or whatever it is, like everyone's kind of worried, like, am I doing the right thing? Do I know what I'm doing? And all these things.
Well, you from traveling or just from like talking to a bunch of people that are more experienced at doing it than you, like they just kind of communicated that, and maybe it took 10 or 15 or 20 people. We're like, yo, when they started, they just sent an email to someone and said they could do something they couldn't do and figured it out. Yeah. Like they just threw themselves into something and figured it out, and then they started to learn as they go. And we kind of sat down, and he's like purebred musician. Like this guy would sit if you could isolate him in a cabin and he could play guitar for the rest of his life paid for.
I'd be pretty happy. Sounds all right.
That's pretty sick.
Yeah,
I'm not like that. I'm like the Too Many Jams. Like I again went to school for piloting. Then I switched to entrepreneurship, did a bunch of businesses, was unsatisfied like you.
He's the showman. He likes having an audience, and he likes, doing his thing up
I would
there.
argue that's probably a little bit of Ricky.
Yo, Ricky's just had the same look on his face this entire time,
I'm
dude.
enjoying this. I'm chilling.
We've been talking a little bit just from listening to your episodes and like knowing a little bit about what you guys have been doing and stuff about how similar like the dynamic of your relationship is to in similar to us.
Yeah, and it's actually like super hopeful because when we pick your brain about how to blow the cast up as well, like it's very applicable. You guys do it quite differently. There's some differences. Your personalities, like the energy, you got it. You guys are flowing, and then you're ripping back and forth. You also ask like a different styles of questions. You ask a lot of like, what was your favorite this, or what's your top that, or your least favorite, or like what's the story about this. Different vibes, but anyway, I forget where we were
So
going.
let me ask you, what in that sense, like, what do you guys do a little bit different? Because I respectfully, I haven't had a chance to hear your pod yet, but like, what?
Yeah, only 300 people have.
Hey, but those are 301 consistent.
300.
Well, it's probably like
But they're
301
300
to the
at
next.
least you know they're consistent.
Yeah, they're homies. A lot of them,
Yeah.
a lot of them are involved. Like reach out a lot and just give us a feedback to keep going.
Loyal
The
fan base.
podcast.
A lot of them are very positive.
Yeah, and it's nothing to chirp. A lot of people don't get that many. Anyway,
You guys need a
guys-
sponsor? We'll sponsor your podcast.
we're
We
gonna
had a
talk
couple-
about this
yeah.
later. But
Honestly, yeah.
we heard you guys talk about doing like a podcast group, and it's something that with Too Many Jams, when I didn't know that there was other successful podcasts, I thought of a few friends that started up like a sports podcast, or there was like a girl I know that started up like a kind of like a woman podcast. And I was like, it would be cool to like bring a group of us together, like all help each other out. We were the big dogs that like comparatively. And then when I saw you guys, I listened to an episode and you're like, oh, podcast network. I'm like, they're the big dogs. Like these,
Man,
you know what I mean? Like,
a lot of people
no.
coming to pump our tires. This is
Honestly,
awesome.
there's a lot going on. I'm trying to like keep track of everything we've talked about.
No,
here. There's a lot
honestly, you stop talking. I'll stop.
But-
you guys continue. Just keep
No, no, no.
going. You guys are firing right now.
But
man.
on
This is
that,
great.
but on that point too about the podcast, like network and doing that stuff too. That's where like I give Rick a lot of credit for the podcast. Is like the point of like not having to figure it out, fake it till you make it. All those cliches, they actually do apply. Ricky had one tactic that we talked about, like creating those groups and networks. We can talk about it, yeah.
Yeah.
Like Ricky at one point would go on like Facebook and Instagram and like find like podcast groups and create podcast support groups. So just invite people who have other small podcasts.
No way.
Be like, guys, like, this is amazing. I heard this episode. You should listen to it. And then he would say, okay, if you don't mind, listen to ours. And they would just like send reciprocal stuff back. So he just basically created these groups to support other people
Love
out
that.
of nowhere. And it like helped.
And then again, like we were the big dogs, and we weren't. This is before
But
before Donovan
it
Bailey.
was perceived as if we
Yeah,
were, but we were
this
never
is-
big. We weren't like big dogs. We still haven't like made it by any means. Like we're still like in the grand scheme, very, very.
I got you.
Yeah.
And to be honest, when we got the studio, we just started telling people we're the biggest podcast in Toronto. And to be honest, I think people think we're the biggest podcast in
We
Toronto.
may be now.
I have no idea, but
believe
we
it.
just
Walking
I've
here-
manifested in. So when people like introduce us to other people, I got introduced to PK Subban yesterday, and someone was like,
not a big deal.
Yeah, someone's like,
Hey, I
no.
didn't even hear about this. What the fuck?
Well, I'm gonna get to. So actually, we got a couple pretty big guests coming up that I just haven't had a chance to confirm. That's why hopefully Danielle's doing it. Danielle's our manager, but she's awesome, by the way. So
Then you
I met-
gotta know.
I gotta know. So I met PK Subban yesterday. My boy's like, "Yo, this is Ricky. He has the fucking sickest podcast in Toronto. They're like the biggest deals in Toronto in podcasts." I'm like, "Yeah, I fucking told you that. So you're telling other people that. What's up?"
Rick, you're like the perfect embodiment of like everything we learned, and we're like, we gotta be this to be successful. You are the it, and so like
We're trying to do that. We
officially
talked about this.
faked it.
Guys, one thing you should also know, you probably know this already. Me and Ricky have pretty big egos as it is. So telling us this is not helping.
I needed
the cause.
this after my golf round today. Fuck.
Sorry, you guys.
objectively, like I know you said like, oh, we're not there, whatever. From someone who's been running a podcast for a while and just seen like the numbers, I know exactly where it's at, and it's really, really impressive.
Appreciate it.
And like not to pump your tires, because like legitimately not doing that,
No,
just
no.
like saying
Fair,
it how it is. What we did, so you said the vibe of the podcast. Obviously, super talkative dude.
I relate to that big time.
Say all the words.
Yeah.
Robbie, a lot more thoughtful. Kind of like puts in like the good, thoughtful thing that I don't think about. I try not to step on it too much.
When he
But-
talks, people
but
listen.
I also try and let you kind of have
Spread my
your
wings.
spotlight as well,
I'm a
because
peacock.
because he's the talker. He's good at it. So I'm like, recognize his
you guys got a good
his
dynamic.
talent. So
yeah, that's
good
why we
vibe.
also are good business partners and bandmates, except for this factor that we'll get to.
Love it.
This Ricky factor, the R factor.
Danielle, remember,
Put
mark
that
that
down,
moment
Brandon.
down. The
Trademark-
R factor.
trademark that.
The R factor. Fuck.
When he starts
the
doing his
R
like life
factor.
coaching and motivational seminars, he's gonna call it
fuck
the R
no.
factor.
Fuck no, I want to be retired soon. Never mind working.
But anyway, yeah, the vibe of the podcast was figuring it out. So we'd ask a lot of questions, like, because we did not know. Like, we're like, what did you feel in middle school? Like, what did you feel about everything? Like, in high school, did your parents tell you this or that? Like, I have parents that have very, like, professional dreams for me. And, like, that's why I did X or Y. Or, like, were they free-spirited? When did you start to choose your career? How did you do? It was, like, really, it wasn't asking, like, what's your favorite? What's your, like, what I was saying, the difference is it was, like, really, like, we were asking. We were like, what did you do? And they would say stuff like this, and we'd do our own research, and we like put together that like, if we could do anything in life, and we were fearless, like if we could just choose, we were both like rockstar, hands down. Like that, if I could choose a life that like opened up everything I wanted from it, that I had a natural talent for, that I've always been kind of good at, like showmanship, rocking out, whatever. It would be rockstar. Robbie's like, I just love music. We'll do whatever it takes. You know what I mean? Like, just
I was
want
just
to be.
like sitting in my basement playing guitar all day.
He just wants people to see him do it.
Yeah.
So we were asking a lot of questions. Like, we were kind of going deep, and we like learned these principles that like there was so many principles we learned, and learning them sick. We have them all. Like the simple answer really is the way to do it. Like how to get bigger, big guests, how to get big guests. Try. Join networks, like all this shit. So we have this all written down, and then we would just like never do it. So the podcast became about change after that. Like, how does somebody change? Like, I don't know if you've always been like that.
Yeah, I can see, but that's the point I actually missed in the thing I was telling you guys. Before I left on this like trip that I went on, this like whatever enlightenment journey.
Where'd you go, by the way?
I guess I can name them. I can name most of them. Like
Just not the years. I just want to know
47 countries.
Wow.
I did 47
Holy
countries in
shit.
13 months. Some for like 6 hours, some for like 6 days, some for 6 weeks.
That's wild.
Yeah, it was
That's
crazy. We can dive into that if you guys want to hear about it. I mean, I've probably told Ricky's heard it more than times than I can probably count. He's probably tired of me. He can probably name all the countries I've been to because he's probably heard it so many times. But what I was gonna say was
In order.
I wouldn't mind hearing a little
No, but
Cole's
to the
notes.
point,
Cole's nose.
I'll give you a little Cole's notes. But I guess just to jump on that point quickly, that was the other thing that was my biggest flaw. And Rick always used to kind of tease me with. All my friends did actually. I was the guy with big dreams, big ideas, but I would never act on them. My dad too. He's like, okay, like I come up with this idea when we were working together. And he's like, okay, no problem, go do it, because he knew I wouldn't do it. He's like, Jordan's gonna get a little discouraged, a little bit like a little roadblock, and drop it. And that's actually part of the reason why the podcast started. Part of the reason why, a lot of the reason why Cast started, if not all of it, is like Ricky's never been one that like not go after something. For me, it was always like I was always worried about the rejection or failure or what is someone going to think about, how you get judged, and that's what always held me back with everything. That trip is kind of what taught me those things. This podcast actually helped compound what I learned there and made sure I stayed accountable, because when I said that Rick wanted to, we decided to do this as like just to stay in touch, just like stay together for like one night of the week, just to hang out, shoot the shit, talk to cool people, interesting people. It was also like that set things in motion of like just go do shit. Like, who cares what people think? Even at the beginning, I was like, fuck, people are gonna listen to this, and like we're gonna say dumb shit. They're gonna be like, oh, these guys are idiots. But I was like, most people are fucking idiots, so who cares?
Everyone's an idiot.
Honestly, guys, I'm not saying this to be like humble in any way. I truly believe this. Like, I think I'm smart, but I also know I'm dumb, and I say stupid shit all the time. And I used to care that like I wanted to come off as like this like really like bright guy or knows
Even
a lot.
smart
Whatever.
people are idiots at some things.
Do you know how many dumb shit most people say? So like all of those things, the trip, all this stuff compounded the same problem of like not going after it. This helps set that emotion, because I'm like, you know what? Even if there's like 50 people listening to this right now and they hear me saying something like, oh, George sounds dumb. Why do I care? And then I was like, oh, well, if I don't care what they think, then I can just go and do more things and not care what the rest of people think. And we can start Cast, because like if we fail, who cares what anybody else thinks? We tried, and it's something most people don't do. Most people don't ever try.
100%.
And that's the biggest thing. So at the end of the day, when we started doing this, we just said, fuck it, let's do fun shit. Like probably what you guys did with starting John Famos. We're like, let's just do shit we want to do, and who gives a fuck what anybody thinks?
The whole band name is kind of like a satire. Like, we want to get famous.
Yeah.
Fucking,
Is it off
like
John Stay? Is it kind of like
hell
John? Yeah.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
like we're kind of like
sick.
we're kind of like playing on the cliche of it. Like we're completely normal. We're Travis, Rob, like did everything normal, like respectable, whatever. I dyed my hair blonde. I rock it on stage. I rip my shirt off. We crowd surf.
That's that R factor right
That's
there.
the R factor
That's the
right
R
there.
factor.
Yeah.
You ripped the shirt off in a bar. Never mind on stage.
I do that all the time. In fact, I have a problem.
No,
You know what?
he has a fucking problem. I thought.
I'm gonna start jumping in this conversation. 'Cause I've been listening because I really enjoy this. That's why I like, and I love. I've said this on the pod numerous times. I love when our guests come on and just start going. And like we have the set questions that like we'll always not set questions, but you have like the generic questions you run into if you get into those quiet spots. And we've had guests in the past where they're not as talkative and it's a little boring almost. And it's more question answer. We don't want this podcast to be a question answer. We want it to be a conversation. That's it. Like you're sitting down with the pals and you're chatting.
We had a couple of those before.
We
too.
don't prep.
Neither do we. And that's what makes ours, I think, so much
You read
fun.
a little bio. You're like, John Famos. All right, let's go.
Yeah.
D-Dog.
25 years old.
All right.
Started it.
Yeah.
Former pilot.
Notes of
Music lover. Victoria just got released. Recent single.
That's all that matters to us.
No,
Yeah. So, but that's it. Like, I don't even know where I'm going with this point anymore. I lost
You
it.
want to jump in about something? You want to say something?
the ripping shirts off. Ripping shirts off.
That's a secondary factor. But yeah.
But that's what sparked it. You were like, ugh. You got like
No,
got
I
hyped
just,
up.
I just had to get in.
Fucking Ricky's ripping shirt. You want to go? I want to add something about the ripping shirts quickly.
You want to
What
go?
you're
Go you
thinking.
first.
We were out. I remember we were out somewhere. Ricky went out one night, and then I don't know, some bar that will remain unnamed in Toronto.
Daisy.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, we know.
You named it.
Yeah, we know.
So Rick, we see these videos the next day. Like none of us went out. Rick, I guess, went him and maybe one buddy. I see these videos and like Rick standing on the bar with no shirt on. I was like, I messaged him. I
It was hype.
was like, Rick, it's not like we're at Jim Bob's at like Westford anymore. You can't just do that, man. You're a grown man.
You can take Rick at a Jim Bob's, man, but you
Yeah.
can't take
People
Jim
loved
Bob's
it.
out of Rick.
People loved it.
So Rick goes, well, you know, like they're egging me on. And I was like, what do you mean they're egging you on? They told you to take your shirt off? And Rick's like, no, they were telling me like, don't take your shirt off. But if someone tells me not to, that obviously means they want me to, and I'm gonna do it. I was like, Rick, that they own an establishment. They definitely don't want a shirtless dude on a bar. So he's like, nah, if someone tells me not to do it, I'm doing it. And I was like, I don't understand the logic here, but that's the R factor right there.
You guys know Resnick, right, Sam?
Yeah.
So Sam's one of the boys. So we get to the bar, and like I hadn't been to Daisy in like a while. Like we started going a lot last year because me and Sam became really close. So we get to the bar, and I was there a couple times like in previous weeks. And he gets there, he's like, hey, you can't take your shirt off. And I'm like, why would you even say that? Like, I haven't taken my shirt off here ever, I don't think.
He
Maybe I
knows
took it
you,
off
right?
one,
He
like
planted the
once
seed.
a year ago. And he's like, yeah, just don't do it tonight. I was like, why is tonight any different than any other night? What? I'm like, okay, I didn't even really think about it. Then I see him later. I'm like dancing on a booth, like, shirt's completely on. He looks at me, he's like, don't take your shirt off. And then the girls are like, take your shirt off. And I was like, why would you tell me not to take my shirt? Obviously, now I'm hammered. All I want to do is take my shirt off. Hello. So I took it off. I was jamming. And then
Oh, you don't rip it in half.
No, I took
Oh.
it. I
Used to
gotta
rip-
put it
used to
back
do the
on.
rip.
Yeah, when I was in Western, I used to rip it.
Yeah.
But then I'd go home
Love
without a
the
shirt.
rip.
I'm like, fuck.
The right
Yeah,
down
man.
the middle.
Yeah, the
those
V-neck rip used to do.
Yeah.
American Apparel V-necks.
Any collar, crew necks.
I went through those like
You don't
crazy.
discriminate.
Deep use.
Now
I'll
it's
get
now
rid
it's the
of.
sleeves. My sleeves are coming off every weekend. These cast shirts. Basically, every time I walk in here, like you see today, my golf shirt, I'll grab one of these. And before we go to the park, boom, sleeves are gone.
later.
Sleeve monster.
Sleeve monster.
See
Sleeve
ya.
monster got me. Yeah, so I went to Daisy this past weekend, and I was still like relatively sober when I got there. And he's just kind of looking at me, and I'm like, "Are you gonna tell me not to take my shirt off?" He's like, "If you do, I swear to God, I'm gonna punch you in the balls so hard." I was like, "What?" I'm like, "Okay, now I'm definitely not doing that." He's like, "You'll never have children ever again." I was like, "Oh shit, man.
Damn.
Okay, you're really serious about this time. I guess I won't do that." But yeah, that's a random story. Yeah.
Sometimes we go off on these tangents and we just like end up where we end up. And
Can I ask you something about the podcast?
absolutely,
I noticed on when we're coming in when you have it written.
pod/cast.
Yeah, why is the slash there?
So the podcast is the Pals podcast.
Yeah.
Cast
Ah, fuck. That's
is
That
a
makes
startup.
sense.
That was all Rick.
genius.
Gotcha.
That was really clever. Ricky has pretty good ideas. Lately, he's been on fire too.
I've been on fire.
Rick's been on
lately.
fire lately with the ideas.
Fire.
Usually, I consider myself a big idea guy. Rick's some big ideas lately.
A big idea.
Big idea guy. Honestly, he's always been a big
Man,
idea guy.
the
The
vibes have
podcast.
just been going lately.
Yeah.
I want a slice of this, man. We've been coming out of a funk, dude.
Oh, bro, what do you do Saturday?
I worked a bachelorette party.
No, I mean this upcoming Saturday.
Oh, I'm having my family, my extended family, up to my cottage.
What do you do next Saturday?
Nothing.
All right. see you
He's
at
on
Trinity
his
Bellas.
second opportunity.
Yeah,
Trinity
we're
Bellas.
friends. We're there.
We'll be there. I'm having a little birthday jam. The vibes are gonna be immaculate.
Shirts will be
Cool.
ripped right down the center. See,
Honestly,
like,
possibly.
let-
Yeah.
let me have-
Shotgunning beers.
let me hazard a guess here.
Shotgunning some
You-
Kingsvilles, probably.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Kingsville's.
great beer, by the way.
Shout out to Kingsville.
Thanks, Kingsville.
100 calories, I think. Should really check that.
The not that I'm watching my weight or anything. Very I need to put on the pounds more. But let me guess. Underneath that shirt there, there's a couple tightly packed Maybe 6 of them.
No, they used to be there. It's been a rough month and a half lately. We've been working so hard. Haven't had as much time to work out lately. But yeah, normally there is.
Normally there
Can you
is.
tell us about the app a little bit?
Absolutely,
I'm curious
absolutely.
what it's all about.
Glad you asked.
That's my joke.
Yeah. So Cast is a social voting app. What social voting is
This
essentially-
episode is sponsored by Cast.
Yeah, it's also sponsored by Cast. Thanks, Cast. Thanks for the sponsorship.
Thanks for ourselves.
Thanks,
Thanks to
Cast.
ourselves for paying ourselves.
We owe ourselves some money for that.
Yeah,
anyways,
make sure you invoice
so-
the company.
So it's essentially another form of social media. So all the content is all the content is user generated in the form of like questions, polls, so forth. So like Reddit polls, Twitter polls, all that stuff.
Yeah.
The only difference is when you vote on a poll in Cast, you vote anonymously. But let me back up. The platform's semi-anonymous. So if you vote anonymously, so no one will know how you voted or what you voted on. So you can be your authentic self and share your you can share your opinion on anything, where you might not on other platforms. You might not just jump on a Twitter and talk about some weird sex shit if you're into some weird sex shit. But on Cast, you can
Which
vote
we
on
are,
anything.
for the
Of course.
record.
So that's why we created it. He's giving you a little
Don't
daps.
can't leave him hanging.
Oh, hell yeah. dude.
So the reason we have it's like semi-anonymous is that when you comment or create content, your username's attached. We didn't want to create some like 4chan Wild West platform where anything goes. So we wanted to create like a safe space online to let everyone share their opinions and feelings on any topic. Now we created this is we felt that online today people don't share their honest opinions anymore. So I'm a little bit like, I don't want to use like snowflake is a word, but the world is becoming a little bit more like nerfed. Like people don't want to say certain things, but it also is
Bubble
because
wrapped.
bubble wrap. But there's also barriers that exist online. Like if you say something that's misconstrued, taken out of context, you're the
You
wrong
get roasted.
person, gender, age, sex, and you say something, somebody might jump down your throat. They might judge you, might get canceled, whatever it is. So there's this problem now that exists online where people don't share their opinions anymore. Like legitimately on Twitter and Reddit and like platforms like that that are news sources, only a small amount of people actually create the content. So again, we wanted to create a place where everyone can just participate in the conversation. Because at the end of the day, in like a democratic society, everyone has one vote. You can be rich, poor, black, white, Asian, male, female. You have one vote at the ballot box. So we created the platform that way. So when you share your opinion and contribute to like a topic, do you agree with the COVID lockdowns? Do you like Kingsville over Coors Light? Like anything, you share one vote. Doesn't matter how many followers you have. Kingsville, duh, unanimous. And then what we also do after we get this, so why people are going to say, well, why would I go vote here versus Reddit, for instance?
Because you reward them with crypto. It's called Cast Coin. Cast Coin will be minted. Every time you vote, you get a share of Cast Coin.
It's funny you say that. We used to have on that whiteboard in the corner, Cast Coin. Our other co-founder,
Dollar
Dave.
Cast.
Our other co-founder, Dave's a big crypto guy, and he wants to create the Cast Coin.
So he's going to buy my motorbike. Love crypto here.
So wait, are people using Cast like for the social media aspect, or are you guys like providing this voting software?
No, so essentially it's a social platform. You download it. It's like the same as, it's like a feed, same as like how TikTok is.
Okay.
Yeah. Essentially, sorry, to go back to the point is like if you ask why would I use Cast versus anything else, fair question. We get asked that a lot. The second problem that exists is that because there's so few people contributing to the conversation and sharing their opinions online, you get this like misrepresentation of what the world thinks. So for us, the biggest problem in this whole thing is Twitter. Twitter's relied on by sports, by news, by traditional media to get a pulse of what people are saying. It's like where people say breaking news happens, essentially. But that's not entirely true because on any topic, on any conversation on Twitter, only like 8 to 10% of people actually say anything. The rest just passively scroll because there's no incentive to contribute. It's like a one-way exchange. I can download Twitter and just see what everybody's saying. I never got to give. I can take as much as I want. So we get this misrepresentation of the world, and people start to look at this and say, "Well, is that what people really think?" Like, we use this example. There was a TV show that made a joke about Taylor Swift's dating life. Someone said your dating life is like Taylor Swift. You go through like guys like
I remember
whatever.
this.
Yeah. So I went on Twitter that day, and I was like, "Oh, that's kind of like." She came out and said it's extremely sexist and misogynistic. I was like, "Is it? It's a joke." So I was like, okay, let me see what people are saying online. I go on Twitter and I see the whole trending thing of Taylor Swift is everyone backing up Taylor Swift.
Yeah, she's got an army.
She's got a fucking army, dude.
But at the same time, though, I was like, okay, so every single person on Twitter right now is saying that it's not funny. Someone's got to find this joke funny, but I couldn't see that side.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, why can't I see both sides of the conversation? So Twitter is aggregating one side and showing me the side that I actually don't even agree with. I think that it's just a joke. I don't think it's really funny. I don't think it's inappropriate. But I can only see one side of it. So where I was going with this point of what we do differently at Cast is we paint an objective picture of what everybody thinks. So let's say you go and vote on Kingsville versus Coors Light, for example. You might be a Coors Light fan. You're a Kingsville fan. I'm not going to show you what you agree with or disagree with. I'm not going to show you what you agree with or disagree with. I'm going to show you what everybody is saying and let you think for yourself. Social media is becoming like this arbiter of truth and showing you kind of these narratives and like this, everyone's saying this here. Are they really saying it? So we just say, share your opinion. You can be as honest as you want. No one's going to know how you think or what you feel. So you don't have to worry about your boss firing you or your mom hating you or your cousin thinking you're a crazy radical.
And sorry, were you going to say something about incentive to vote? Or
yeah, so the incentive is we give back the data to the user. So it's a two-way exchange now. We basically say, share your opinion. There's no fear. There's no barriers that exist. It's anonymous. You can say what you can share it however you want. You vote on anything. You can vote on anything you want. But in order to like give them some incentive, we say, here's all the information. This is how different demographic groups have voted. So we show you the whole breakdown of it might be 80% Kingsville, 20% Coors Light. But we say, okay, that's the grand scheme of things, but let's break it down further so you can see, because maybe 20-year-olds like Kingsville more and 50-year-olds like Coors Light more, or maybe males like Coors Light, females like this. You don't see that breakdown when you see surveys online, when you see surveys on TV. Yeah. You just get the whole picture, this big number. 80% of Canadians are scared to travel during COVID. Who did you survey? Like, why can't we see who you surveyed? Did you survey? Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Because I mean, I'm not scared to travel. I know most of my friends aren't. Would I? Maybe not, but I'm not scared to. So that like. It's like fear mongering. It's showing what fits your narrative. Mm-hmm. So this is a very long way. This is probably the longest explanation I've given of what cast is. Usually I can hit like the points that we typically say over and over, but we're essentially trying to just create a safe, like a place online that shows a more objective truth and just a more transparent form of social media.
We'll give you $500,000 for 10%. We're gonna partner on this. This is Shark Tank. That was a great pitch, and I really see a future. You know what? Sorry, not 10%. 50%.
Yeah, I was gonna say I wouldn't. In respect, I was gonna say like I wouldn't have taken that offer, but that was a low offer for your side. I was like 10%.
We're new.
I could have just talked you into this. It could have been nothing. It could have been Ponzi scheme.
Yeah.
No, but does that? I mean, I hope that kind of explains what we're doing.
No,
I
just thought it was just a good idea, like off the rip. When they first, I was it was their friend Monica told me about Cast, and I just thought the idea was without like that whole like philosophy. Was just like, oh, cool. Like, because like, right away I was like, my initial thought was, okay, ask if you should go on a date with me, Cast. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, that's how I would use it right off the rip. But then you told me this whole philosophy, and I was like, now I can actually do like real things with that. Like, I went right to just like but it's the people like me, you got to get different. On doing the stupid shit.
Yeah. That's the best part about Cast is different to every single person. You know, there's small business owners who come on and they conduct free market research because they can't afford it. There's people who come on because they're tired of the same old bullshit that they get on social media. They're tired of the fake pictures with the Facetune and the dogs and the whatever that else that's
Can you post a picture that people vote on? Like if we're like album cover, which do you like?
Absolutely.
Yeah, you can post
and it's live right now. I can download it.
Yeah.
Two more
downloads.
Two more downloads, baby.
Yes. 2 more listeners, 2 downloads. See, 2-way exchange here.
Yes.
Boom.
Yes.
Yeah. Give us a couple streaming hours in exchange.
Yeah. Absolutely. Buddy, we got 4 computers here, 2 TVs. We're going to run.
We want that round the clock. We need those numbers.
My computer at my other work stays on all day, 24/7, and it's just like I restart our episodes from the beginning.
But now he's going to restart your episodes.
Now I get you guys different windows. So I got Chrome on the Pals podcast and Safari on what's the podcast called again?
Okay, well, when we did like it was Too Many Jams. Now it's called Almost Famous. But like,
Almost Famous. Oh,
that's fucking sick.
Good. Yeah. What's your logo? Is it like the movie?
No, it's not.
Guys,
it's not.
honestly,
it's just like a neon like boom box, and it just says Almost Famous.
I love that.
Yeah. That's a great fucking. That's better than our fucking name. Fuck, I'm kidding.
It
is better than our. That name is sick. That is very.
Well, it's
like
very fitting, right?
Yeah, it's very clever.
Thank you. Yeah, because it switched. I said it became like about change because we didn't know how to change ourselves, but then we got obsessed with how to change. Again, not the actual changing, and like COVID fucked us right up. Whole story, but it's like we almost broke up. We almost like gave up again, and then we made it through. We built like a home studio. We moved into like a nice place. We like refocused. Like got it together. Still like very broken and like coming out of a funk, but. He was like, I don't know how I feel about the podcast anymore. Just like wasn't vibing with it. I had to make a decision whether I liked it or not. And for all the same reasons you guys like the podcast, it was really like a journal for me, like a way to me like express the thoughts or whatever. And I was like, whether you're in it or not, whether he comes back in, I wanted to continue on, but I don't want it to be about change or figuring things out anymore. I want it to be just about like, I'm doing it. Like, just like how you guys ask people what's up. You're not like, how did you do this? Like asking for myself. I mix some of that in because I'm curious, like same I'm asking you guys here, but it's more just like I'm a rock star, like I'm doing it. Come on the podcast, we'll shoot the shit, like have a good time. We got some beer too, like a few sponsors, and just like have a good time. We have a home studio, same as you had in your condo. Yeah. Really just having a good time with it. But when I say having, I mean we haven't, because we haven't been able to have guests on. I just hated it without guests. Like it was, I hated it. I hate it.
I mean, it was kind of fun for a little bit. We had a period where you and I would just drink a lot, and the two of us.
Yeah, that was fun for the first 60 days of quarantine.
Going into it,
and then it gets.
Yeah.
Well, Ricky, you can touch this more than I can.
On what part?
Oh, there's the guests,
I got so many things like lined up, ready to go, and I don't want to cut you off because I love when people get going like this.
But
like,
you know what? That's pretty good energy to have. See, like that's kind of that transition, right? At a certain point, like I was the same way. Like, you know, you're like, okay, like how do I figure it out? You know, always planning. What's the next thing? But oh wait, like now I gotta wait, plan more. Eventually, like fuck it, like I am this. And if you believe you are that, people not only will you start to believe it, everyone will start to believe it.
Like them repeating your podcast thing. You say it out there. It's not you manifesting it. It's you convincing enough people that they manifest it for you.
Well,
because they tell
if you
people.
convince enough people that you think you are, therefore you are.
Yeah.
But you'll also start to act like it too. Like you'll believe, you'll carry yourself a different way. You'll walk with a little bit more broad chest. Like
something's only as real as what other people believe in their minds. Like that's it.
Absolutely.
We've had on our podcast Penny Alexiak, who is the greatest Olympic.
Shut up,
What
Penny.
a joke. When is that episode dropping though? I saw the clip.
It already happened.
I thought it was like a recent one.
No,
you
We were
reposted.
sharing a bunch.
Dude, I was like looking at the top.
Yo, she responded to my DM the other day, so I'm gonna get her back on.
I thought that was
girls.
I thought that was like unreleased.
No,
so I was like at the top, like trying to get
the last one in my condo. I think.
One of the last. We had Donovan fucking Bailey.
Hell
yeah, that's crazy. The first couple guests that you had.
Legit.
He made it.
Jonathan Osorio, like again, TFC superstar. We had a couple NHL players. We're gonna get more NHL players. We've had, I think, 5 Juno nominated artists in the last year.
It's gonna be 6.
Let's go.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
man, that's
soon to be.
Soon to be. We have a funny story about winning something, about why we were gonna come on this podcast.
Okay, go. You guys go. I don't even want to.
No. We'll get to it after.
What's this?
One thing I did want to mention before, how you said that he told you that he wasn't as interested in it anymore.
Yeah.
I fucking love that when people are able to, like, especially because you guys are obviously boys, you're able to share that with each other and like be honest and open about it. Because sometimes, let's say you would have kept doing it for the wrong reasons. People aren't stupid. People can tell that right off the bat.
Yeah.
There's days where me and him don't feel like doing the episode. We've canceled episodes because one of us wasn't feeling it that day. And there's times where, let's say I wasn't feeling it or he wasn't feeling it. You can sense it in the episode. We're lucky that we have 2 of us plus a guest. 2 out of 3 people get going. Usually the third person gets going at some point in the episode. The vibes get going, right? But
sorry, I mean cut you off.
No, but it's just about being able to share that with your boys and like being able to talk to each other. And if you come back on, great. If not, he'll keep doing it because that's what he wants to do, and that's the important part. Doing it because you want to do it, not because other people want you to do it. That's 100%. The best part about this podcast. Like, we do it because we want to do it. There's days where we don't record. There's weeks where we don't put out 2 episodes, and according to everybody online, consistency. There's weeks where we didn't release an episode because we just fucking didn't have time.
I fucked up the last 3 weeks. I had so many banked. I was on vacation. I'm just like, I want to touch on a point. Like,
go ahead.
I don't have this point because, like, honestly, because like no joke. You have Rick a lot of credit for this, but like, Rick is honestly the best co-host to have because Rick's the kind of guy where like he brings like we both have we have a lot of energy, but he has it regardless of what mood he's in. He'll put the energy on. So I'll be the one like I'm like that where I'll come. I'm like, man, I'm not feeling this because I'll also like if it's a guest that I'm like, okay, they're all right, but like am I gonna like the energy, whatever? I make this like almost like a judgment. Not don't judge every guest that comes on, but some days I'm in that mood. Where I'm like, I'm not gonna enjoy this conversation. Even though I know I'm making a bad judgment, Rick's like, okay, fine. Listen, if you don't want to do it, we won't do it. I'm not gonna force you to do anything you don't want to do. And then when he does it, I'm like, fuck, this guy's so nice. Why can't I can't not do it? I'm swearing a lot this episode. I was like, I can't not do it. Rick wouldn't he'll never force me to do it, but like I know it's the right thing to do is to do it, and I should be in the right mood. And I also don't know what's gonna come out of the conversation. And almost every time we've done it, like how many?
I don't want to name the names, but
there's been a couple.
There's like 3 or 4 that have almost turned into some of the the best episods we've had.
Yeah.
And they were ones where he didn't want to do it.
And then I get on, I was like, I found out this amazing new thing about this or that, whatever.
There's times where I'm like, look, at the end of the day, we're a team. We're in this together. If you really don't want to do it, then we'll cancel. Like, I think it's disrespectful to cancel on someone at like 5 p.m. or 6 p.m. Like, when you're recording an hour or 2 hours. Like, we had to do it last week because our AC was broken. Different story.
That was us.
Was it you guys?
Was it?
Yeah.
Guys, it was a sauna.
Yeah,
in
that
here.
was
Yeah.
our AC was
Disgusting.
broken.
Yeah,
That's what I said.
we were
like,
ready to sweat it out though.
Now that I know your energy, I don't doubt it. Like I felt like it was bad.
It was
though.
bad. It was like,
bad.
trust me, for me to agree to it, I was like, this is disgusting.
I just said I got here first, and I was like, guys, it's fucking hot in here. Like I was here like an hour before them, and Rick's okay. We'll figure out when we get there. And like he gets here, and he's like, oh yeah, like, and he will never complain. He'll sit like do an episode. I can tell you, it was
that
the
one
hottest
was
thing in the
bad.
world. It was like sauna,
That
literally,
one was
literal
really bad.
sauna. Because the sun just hits all
you'd
these
be
windows
struggling.
all
We
day.
used to not have AC, man. We've acclimatized
Okay.
Yeah, we used to do episodes in
in the absolute heat.
yeah,
man.
it was brutal.
Oh, we could do it, man. Yeah,
You guys are real rock stars.
No, we're just in the trenches, man.
You
Whatever it
guys are
takes.
real rock stars. Fuck. I respect that.
Oh.
But yeah, we just were like, honestly, it was more like we were a little annoyed, but we're also concerned. Like, we don't want to bring guests in here. Like, we don't know.
No, she was like, "You want to do Monday?" I was like, "Yeah." It's like literally no different.
Yeah.
So AC, sure. No, we're just joking around. No,
What-
I like that though. Like the okay, because before we set a schedule every week, and like we were always like up it. Like we started with just audio. Now it's like audio with thumbnails. Now it's like video and audio.
thumbnails are key.
And all this shit and we were like up it. We have to do it every week. This is an accountability like exercise. All this stuff. And then he started hating it. I really did not like doing the solo or even.
Well,
like,
I don't think I was hating it as much. I just was not as interested in it. It became more of a chore, and I felt bad that I was letting him down because, you know, he'd get on my case, be like, okay, we got an episode and stuff, and it was hard for me to get jazzed up about it.
sucked,
So,
man. Psyching someone up that doesn't
Yeah.
want to do something. Like you just want him to like be as into it as you are.
but like once we got the episodes, like we were still getting guests, and once we got on the episodes, I was there fully, and like
Yeah.
we were having a good time. But
I know what you mean, because when we do the virtual ones, and we've had some amazing
I hate
virtual
that.
guests, and we've had some like really big ones too. It's just the vibe is different. And again, we do this because this is a hobby. Yeah, now it's a little bit different. It's an actual business, and we get to meet amazing people. But when it's done virtually, sometimes it feels like a chore.
100%.
And
Yeah.
then it's like, again, once you start, you're like, these people are freaking awesome. They bring the energy through the fucking computer, which is so hard to do. And you're jazzed up. Like James Barker Band, which just got released recently. Check it out. On Apple, Google, YouTube, everywhere. All your streaming.
Spotify. Number one.
Spotify, everywhere. So like when you see them and they're jazzed up, you're like, oh, this is sick. Like I'm jazzed up. But the like 30 minutes before, when I'm stuck in traffic driving down here, or you know, you just walked here and it's 35 degrees and your balls are stuck to your leg, like you're like, this is disgusting. I want to go home. I don't want to record this right now.
totally,
the virtual man, yeah, that's
we canceled a couple episodes that we like just him and I did virtually because the vibe
yeah.
just wasn't
the vibe
there.
just sucked. It sounded like we're on a phone call. Like, hey, what's
Yeah,
going on with you?
what's
Nothing.
the
What'd you do this weekend? Like,
That
our
was
our one
first couple
our
of
one
them.
friend, he was telling this story. It was pretty funny. He said he was on a drive with a girl, and he's like amping us up, telling her about the podcast that we have and stuff, and like, oh, it's great, you know, you gotta listen to this podcast, my buddies or whatever. And he goes and he chooses the most recent episode, and it was one of the ones that we did
stinker.
on a phone call, or was virtual or something. And he called us afterwards, and he's like, yo, that it just like sounded like you guys were on a phone call.
He's like, that sucked, boys.
It was
Like,
terrible.
don't ever
And we're
do
like,
that again.
it's because we were.
yeah,
Absolute stinker.
when we first started doing, so COVID happened, we started off on fire. Like we were like 8 episodes in, we had like an Olympic gold medalist, Jonathan Osorio. Like we were on fire when we started. COVID hits, obviously world shuts down. We took a break. And like, it's COVID now. Like let's just start releasing some virtual ones. We can probably get some big guests because of it. So the first one we did was with an infectious disease doctor, and we talked about kind of COVID and what it is. And it
Oh,
was
that's
like,
cool.
Yeah, but we did it over the phone. So George held the phone up to the microphone while I was on speaker and while the other guy was.
We're a
on the
little
phone.
bit.
You're a
less-
freak.
and
And I
I'm
was
the
like-
technical one too. I'm like the tech savvy guy. I didn't really know what was going on.
I was like, George, I'm like, we should just do it on Skype. He's like, no, it'll be fine like this. You go back and listen. They're trash.
is it bad? I didn't remember.
They were bad. Like Skype again. Like there's a lag on it. which
Yeah.
is
We
actually
kind of
got-
annoying sometimes.
Fuck, twice by Skype, 3 times maybe. Something happened. We would like record. It was like 3 episodes that happened. I don't know if they were consecutively, but like we would record, and something would happen in the last like 5 minutes of the episode, or maybe 10. One of them like 30 minutes in, this audio just drops. So I'd go like look up the file, like nothing, whatever, try to mess around with it, and we'd have no audio. So we'd have to like at one point we're like, do we release this or do we like cut it short? Like what the fuck do we do now? Like we don't have another audio file. One point we just released like a 30-minute episode that was actually an hour, so the conversation ends like an ultimate cliffhanger.
We had some good ones that we got screwed on.
Yeah.
Like we had Marissa
Their
Papa
first episode,
Constantino.
too.
Marissa, yeah. We didn't even release
Oh my
Marissa's.
God, Danielle and Becca's.
You lost a whole epi.
That episode.
Yeah.
Honestly, the first one I think might have even been better than the second one.
The first one I had like an hour-long spiel about how me and Becca met or whatever. A monologue.
That was my first one of you guys that I listened to, was their podcast, because she told me about it, so I obviously just found hers.
Yeah, makes sense.
Sucked
It's
me
actually
right
one of our
in.
biggest. In the last couple months, it was one of our most popular episodes.
A lot of people message me. Like, people have like asked me, like, oh, you're like dating Becca. I was like, yeah, like, I heard the podcast. I was like, that's how you know me? I have the podcast, but
It's
I
my
now you
podcast,
know
what?
because Becca was on the podcast.
Oh yeah. I heard you were on a podcast with your girlfriend, right? It's like
Yeah. I was like, yeah, no. Like, it's
You're on
my
your
podcast.
girlfriend's podcast.
Yeah. Pretty much how the conversation goes when they find out.
that's it.
I'm so lost where we were at.
Yeah.
So am I.
It's the best part of the
Oh,
episodes.
losing episodes. You lost your episode.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah,
we've lost 2 or 3. We
Some
lost
good
the
ones.
the
We lost
lawyer.
one of an Olympian,
Lost a lot of good men
How?
out there.
Marissa.
Oh,
Like
no, but we
through
lost
Skype
half
stuff
an hour.
or
Just
like
like
technical?
The technical, yeah. From
Yeah.
like we were using Skype at first because it was free. We're
Yeah.
cheap.
But now we got that
Guys,
premium
throw
Zoom
some
account.
dollars
Yeah,
at
yeah.
that. Yeah.
Wait, this is the best part. Then we got Zoom. We use Zoom, but we don't want to pay for Zoom, so we try to keep episodes to 40 minutes.
Yeah.
So we'd be like, we're like, me and Rick are like, okay, like we got to make sure we try to wrap this at 40 minutes. And it was typically like we did it with like some guests. Like, okay, we can probably fit this in to be like more like an interview style. And like we'd be getting to like 35 minutes, and I'm like, I know that it's sometimes they'll give you like that automatic upgrade where like it just like.
Yeah, it'll just sauce it to you. It's
So,
like,
yeah. So that's what I was hoping for. The first episode I did that. I was like, oh, sick, we're fine. Like, we'll do this every time. The second one, it didn't happen. It was like, oh my god. It was like 38 minutes, 39. I'm like, this is not happening. Cut off. We're like, and we're in the middle of a conversation. So we're like, okay, we'll just create a new
But
link.
then it gets shut down, so you like scramble to like email. Oh, sorry, click this link right away, please.
Yeah. But then we just said, fuck you. We can afford a $20 subscription. Just pay for it. Which is funny. We spend money way stupider ways. We wouldn't pay for a subscription for Zoom.
yeah, it's one drink.
I think
it's one drink at the golf course.
I think we just didn't do it
Drinks
because
for
we're
a daisy.
hoping-
Drinks around the house today.
I think we were just optimistic that COVID would end at some point. So we don't want to pay for it. So we don't do it anymore.
That was the worst mentality. I thought it was a short-term thing. Shut everything down. Started drinking every day. I thought it was a vacation. Started playing video games every day. I shut all my businesses down. He went back to his family house. I was quarantining at our house. Thought it was like
Where do you guys live, by the way? Sorry.
we live now at DuPont and Ossington.
Yeah.
Ooh, nice.
Sick
But my
area.
family's from London.
Okay,
Okay,
cool.
London. Where in
So-
London?
Masonville area.
Yeah, I know where that is.
Yeah.
obviously.
Of course, you guys
Yeah.
do.
Well,
Live at
so-
1275 Richmond, baby.
Hell yeah.
What up?
Forget where I lived.
I don't know how. That's the only. I remember because the
Concussions.
landlord hated me. Like the building property manager, or whatever, hated me.
Yeah, London.
Good
London,
times there.
London's good times, some bad. That's where like we met. All these good memories. Also, where I got my head caved in a few
We're
times.
not talking about concussions.
Yeah, I didn't say concussion. I said caved in.
Yeah.
Caved in.
Bunch of times.
But yeah, no. The what were we saying? We live at DuPont Ossington, but at the time we lived at Bathurst and St. Clair in like this really old house, kind of a starter home. You know,
Yeah.
Starter.
get the ball rolling. And yeah, I was there alone because the roommates all went back with their family. I can't really quarantine my family. You know, creative differences. You know, but
It's like you're in a job interview right now.
Well, I don't even know. I want to ask that. I don't want to be rude, but I want to. Like, I'm curious what that creative difference. That's like what a funny way to.
no, they're the best. They're super supportive, but they just would love nothing more for me to go into finance or aviation or like all the things that I did prior to
Yeah.
dye my hair blonde. You know.
I feel that.
But no, yeah, just like living
Do you
around
dye
here.
your hair yourself?
No, his girlfriend's a cut and colorist. Shout out Bottle Rocket Hair.
Yeah.
She's the best in the city.
she
Shout
gets-
out.
It's a free plug.
free
I like
free
In,
plug. You can bleep that out. if you
in-house
need.
service.
never.
Fun fact. I might have to call her out because fun fact. I have one bet that I have never paid in
The dye blonde.
Yeah.
She's the best. Make you look good while you're
So
out.
I'll get you hooked up.
Yeah, I lost this bet. This
George,
is like
you should
20
do it before we
This
go
was
on
like
this road trip.
2013 or 14.
I think it's, 14, 15.
Dude,
Yeah.
blondes have more fun.
And what was the bet?
Actually, that's a fucking lie. I've been miserable. It happened in COVID.
George, you should do it before
This
we go on
guy
this trip.
is hilarious.
George, imagine you do it before we go on this 30-day trip with the Vipers. And just
We're gonna be like talking like, what if we talk to VCs and shit?
And you just dye
Dude,
brown.
I got my
But
finance.
what's the
wait,
worst
wait,
thing? I
tell
dyed my
us-
hair blonde. What are they gonna say? It's 2021.
Tell us what the bet.
That's how willing you go. That's how far you're willing to go for a download. Dye your hair blonde. Wear the Viper shades. Mesh in with the
Should I cut
students.
a give myself a
21
mullet
Jump
too?
Street.
Give myself a
Yeah,
mullet?
man.
Yeah.
We this was a 2013 or 14. We just finished. Oh yeah, it was about probably 2014 before I moved downtown, I think. Anyways, me and Ricky, you play men's league soccer with our buddies, and our buddies have this thing like we're not like all. Most of us aren't like gamblers, or at least our close friends. We're not big gamblers. We make little bets here and there, $100, $50, $20, whatever. And me and Ricky we were playing indoor soccer at the hangar, and like halfway through the season, I'm probably having one of my better seasons. I used to play, but I'm not as athletic, maybe, if you can tell, as Ricky. But I'm an okay player. And that season I was doing really well, scoring a lot of goals. So Ricky's got 2 left feet when he's fast as fuck. He's got 2 left feet.
Fast as fuck, boy.
Yo,
You want to see some real speed, bitch?
Yeah, so anyways, I'm like Ricky's talking shit or something. I don't know how it started. One of us saying, probably me saying, I'm gonna score more goals than you, making this big claim. And he's like, fine, let's make a bet. And I was like, all right, cool. Let's bet like whatever, $50 something. He's like, no, we're like fucking, we work $50. We make these bets all the time. You're gonna give me $50 and it's gonna be boring. It's just gonna be fun.
It's gonna net
And then we're
out.
literally just gonna go to the bar. And
Yeah.
spend
So he's
30
like,
minutes.
wow, loser. Whoever scores the least amount of goals dyes their hair blonde. And I remember I thought about it for a minute because I'm like, fuck. At the time, I worked for my dad, like my family business, and I was like, I'll get murdered. I see clients every day. I wear a suit to work. Like I was like, I think he was probably still in marketing at the time. So I was like, okay, Rick has less to lose than I do. If I go to a client with dyed hair, they're gonna think I'm a like crazy person.
He should have had to like go pink.
I should have thought of that at the time.
Yeah.
So anyways,
that's what in the future we'll have.
I ended up
these-
spraining my ankle like with like 2 games left in the season. I'm up by like 1 goal at the time. Sprained my ankle, so I had to miss like 2 or 3 games. I think he missed a couple with an injury, but I was like, this is not fair. I can't. This is bullshit. Like the last game of the season, I came back with like I was like my ankle's still fucked, but I can't not play. I gotta try to beat Ricky. We were like tied at the time. He ends up scoring. I lose. He's like, you're dyeing your hair. I was like,
No big deal.
Not a big deal.
and I
You should just park by the net and blocked him.
honestly.
Just booted
Well,
it.
no, I think one time I tried to steal the ball from
Yeah.
him too. I think I did one time.
you
Where I
just-
was like
you
a
make
2-on-0
the
and he-
saves, come back out the ball.
Yeah, actually, I do
I was
remember
like,
that.
are you kidding me,
Guys
man? Like,
throwing the
There was a
game.
2-on-0 one time, and I think I'm pretty sure if I sent him the ball, it was a guaranteed goal. Our team would have been up 1, and I think I just ripped it on net.
Love that.
But anyway, so I also could have paid the bet when I did my backpack like trip around the
Yeah,
world for a
easily.
year. Rick's like, do it. But honestly, at the time, I was like growing my hair out. I used to have like really long, nice hair.
Yeah.
And I still think I have pretty nice hair.
It's like yeah, you do.
So I don't want to fuck it. I was like worried. So let me ask you, like dyeing it blonde, did it like ruin your hair at all?
I shaved my head before I dyed it.
Oh, what? And you grew this? Wait,
This is all since COVID.
it was shaved,
Shaved.
and you dyed it when it was shaved.
Yeah, I look like Eminem.
Come on,
I made a TikTok.
you're the
Yeah, this
craziest
is where you
person.
post that TikTok right now. Boom.
You are
You-
like the
you-
most.
You can
the
find it on
TikTok
John
there.
Famos TikTok. It's like one of those like
Yeah.
I just flipped the switch,
Shut
flip,
up.
and then it goes.
we gotta find.
It
This
goes
right
flip.
now.
Hi, my name is. You're gonna
No.
love this. Yeah.
I actually still
John
owe him a
Famos
bet
on
as
TikTok.
well.
Hit us.
I got to do slam poetry.
Yeah, we used to do these bets all the time. He's never done slam poetry.
That's a sick bet too.
He's been skirting it all the time. Like
You're
Yeah,
a rock star. You can't go. Are you like nervous to go?
I'm
a
a
lot
little
of
bit,
TikTok.
you know.
Yeah.
it's like a
I don't blame
spam
you, I
account.
don't
Like
blame
it's
you.
not
I
like
just
when
pictured
we
22
talk
Jump
to like
Street and-
managers
That's
of brands.
honestly one of the best scenes in
It's
like
the
any
best.
movie.
Yeah.
See? That is sick.
like, how does
You
something like
look
this not go
dude, I
viral?
would
Like,
never.
how does
if
something
you had
like
a
this
shaved head
not
that
go
walked in, I'd be like, "Who's this guy? I don't know." who
Dude,
you
I
are."
changed.
You look so different.
Every girl I've ever dated has looked at my Instagram profile and is like, "That's not you. That's not you." And they always like a different version of me.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I look different throughout the years.
That's sick. Respect. So you shaved it, then dyed it. The problem is I can't shave my head. My head is massive.
Dude, you think
No,
that? I thought my
no.
head was
I got a
tiny.
No, no,
huge
no.
dome.
Huge domes. Huge
Yeah.
What
domes.
size hat do you wear? Is that a fitted or is that a
And,
snapback?
no, snap.
I wear 7 3/4. You know what the biggest size is? 8. I'm the step down from the biggest size they make.
Yeah, but I feel like
Sorry, wait. Say that again.
I wear a 7 3/4 hat, which is the second
That's
biggest
large.
size.
How's
Yeah,
that compared to
that's
your
large.
absolute mellow?
Okay.
I mean,
you
I
know,
think
we can do a
I think
test
around
to
like
get the-
7 5/8.
And you guys have a couple follows here.
Oh, thanks, boys.
Rick's got 12 burner account, so he got you with
No,
all of
love
them.
it, love it. I need that. No, we had only one go viral, and it was me flipping a cigarette into my mouth, and like that, like all the ones I tried my hardest on. We did like full edits, all this stuff, and it was just me flipping a cigarette from a distance. You ever seen that?
No.
Someone's like got a cigarette here, and they go like, and it just is that it?
Yeah.
Tell them about the competition with my girlfriend. She absolutely rinsed them
She rinsed me, dude.
in a TikTok competition.
we wanted to see who'd get famous first, and I'm feeling confident. Like his girlfriend, as talented as both of us combined, she's got the best voice. She could
Crazy
She
voice.
could get famous like that if she just like started singing and trying.
She's got stage fright.
She's
so
got
she never
stage
wants to
fright. She's got all this
perform.
shit. So she's like doesn't even have a TikTok, and I'm out there making those, doing edits, and she's like, I want to make a TikTok, and I was like, great, like let's do like a little friendly competition, like who can get famous first, or whatever. I'm like, she's never gonna make a TikTok or whatever. And what was it, her third video?
Yeah, a couple in. She makes this video, and we're just we're lying on the ground, and she's lying on my chest, and she just starts singing the song. She's
Genius.
like, "Oh, like here's this idea that I have. You're gonna be on your phone looking at other girls in bikinis or whatever while I'm singing this song." She puts it up there, and I get absolutely roasted in the comments. Everyone starts hopping on her train.
They
being
think
like,
it's real.
They think it's
think
real.
her
Like, look
boyfriend's
what
on
he's
looking at
doing.
bikini girls.
Like, think I'm creeping all these other girls and stuff.
Goes
And
huge. Goes
everyone
huge.
just absolutely like
Come
is
on.
ripping into me in the comments. It
She
was
got
so
like
funny. Yeah.
10,000 followers, 14,000 followers. Third video,
She got like 1 million views on it.
million views.
Yeah.
Like, and obviously I'm rattled. Like, there's no doubt about it. Her third video, and I've made 30. And
I feel that. I feel that pain.
And I'm,
Rick's definitely in every fucking video was viral. This guy, and I'm fucking out here trying to make sick videos. They suck.
yeah, it's the X factor.
My
It's the R
mom gets
factor.
more
man.
views than
Factor.
George.
His mom is. Shout out to Elaine. Elaine is. She
Elaine's
throws
the
out.
best.
I gotta throw the bucket hats on. I think there's a bucket hat on. Says download cast. It gets like 700 views.
500, 600 views.
I make this artsy thing like in
Yeah.
Greece while I was there with my girlfriend. 4.
Don't try.
Yeah.
Don't try.
You gotta not care, I guess.
You gotta flip a cigarette in
You
your
gotta
mouth.
act like you don't care, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, still got roasted on that one. They called me Dollar Tree Chad Kroger.
That's so good.
Anyway, so
So
this girl, his girlfriend, it hits that, and I'm rattled. So I'm like, this is unfair. I'm like, this is sexist. This is where I'd go on cast and be like, is this fair that she just blows up right away just because her boyfriend's faking looking at bikini girls? So I get the girl I'm seeing at the time, and I lie on her chest. I make the exact video. I made sure every factor was
Everything
the
to a
exact
T.
same.
The same song.
Laying on the same part. It was in my. She did it in my own room too.
The same spot on the floor.
She went into my room and got viral in my room.
Disrespect.
Absolutely disrespected
Yeah.
me like that. And so I go to the same spot.
You
of the
guys are fucking great.
No.
man.
Yeah,
Honestly, you guys
this
are
is
fucking
amazing
great.
energy
we,
right now.
we
Sorry.
go to the same spot of the floor. I'm laying on her stomach, and I'm like, look at like absolutely shredded muscle boys, like in the background.
Look at Ricky's profile.
Yeah, pull up Ricky on repeat, and I'm singing the same song, the exact same song, every factor the same. Flop, absolute flop.
What, like 2K?
I don't even remember, and like I gave up. She won hands down. I got like 75 followers.
Wait, and then you followed it up with another video asking people where you should have used
I was like,
past
listen,
if
I was
this
like,
is
you may
fair
not
or
have seen my last video, but look at her video. Look at look what's going on here. Like, is that fair? And then everyone's like, fuck you, dude. We don't care at all about what you think. So yeah, I gave up. But like that's our story about getting famous, man. We literally, Rob and I think we're just sliced bread out there with these songs and everything we're making. So we enter the funny story about why we thought to come on this pod, other than the fact that we just wanted to because we knew it'd be a good time. So I'm talking to Danielle. She's telling me about this podcast, and I go, like, Danielle, like, we're about to win this competition.
I can already tell where this is going.
I'm like, the 102.1, The Edge just put on this summer song competition where they said, film a video of you and your band playing a song live, submit it to this competition, and we're going to pick the song of the summer. Top 10 is announced on August 9th or whatever. Oh, and so we just filmed a music video, rented out a white studio space, professional videographer, and for some reason we decided to do this one live. Like, you know, normally music videos like you're lip syncing, but we got in-ear monitors, we got like a sound tech, we mic'd everything up because we're like, we've done a bunch of normal music videos. Why don't we show people like what we can do live when we shop ourselves out to managers? You crying?
No, I'm like, I'm.
You got
kinda live, but I
allergies?
was sitting in my eye. Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. I'm
All right, I'm just making sure. You know, it's not a really an emotional story. So we just made this video. We see this competition, and when we wrote the song, we had The Edge in mind. It's like straight 90s. Grew up listening to The Edge, and we see this competition, and we're sitting there like we're
like,
freaking out.
They made this
This
for
is
us.
perfect. Yeah.
Robbie's
It's gonna
like
be better timing.
Robbie's like, we won this. Like, we're just reading it, and we're like, we won this. We're like, it's a 20K competition. I'm like, we won. We talked to his girlfriend. She's like, you guys won. Like, we won. Like, this is we have.
Like, what are we gonna do with this $20,000?
we looked at all the other entries. They
They
were
were boats and shit to
Dude.
buy.
It's not even a vote. It's just judged. So it's like we don't even need to be popular. Like, none of the stuff that is going against us is just off pure merit. And we're like, we fucking won. We looked at all the other entries, good stuff, but no one went full edge, like 90s, like straight in the mic. looking like a straight like Blink-182 ripoff band. And so we put our video in. There's only 200 entries. Talking to Danielle, I'm like, Danielle, like we're going to be in the top 10 on August 9th. I was like, I can't believe you showed us this podcast. It's going to be huge because after August 9th, we're going to be in the top 10 and we need a fan vote. And we're going to come on the Pals podcast and ask for everyone to go look at our video, fan vote. Like, we're going to win this. You know? Is this not how it went? Yeah. Anyway, so I play her the song. I'm sitting there like watching her watching it. And she's like, yeah, you guys are going to win. I'm like, we're going to fucking win. We put up the Instagrams like, everyone tag the Edge. We're going to win this comp. How do we spend the money? Like, oh, we're going to do this. We're going to do that. Like, oh, once we win the Edge competition, it's going to help us win this. We're going to get signed by this man. We had everything laid out.
You know, and we got glossed over.
We got glossed over. We got glossed over. Pretty much 2 days, or the day the competition ended, 500 new videos got submitted. We went from 200 to 700 entries. Oh, fuck. And we're watching all of them. We're looking for anyone that's bringing the heat like we're bringing. And we're like, half these aren't even live. Like these are people lip syncing, whatever. Yeah. We read the competition again. They took live out of the competition.
Yeah, that was a little sus.
A little suspect.
Yeah.
Wait.
Dude, I think they took a word out of the competition.
Wait, hold on.
Unless I invented that.
Yeah.
Sorry, what is one Edge on the podcast?
Get
some controversy here. This is bullshit.
Get someone from the Edge live on the contest.
Call in right now.
Call in right now.
Basically, what I gather, is there any other live videos in there?
So these aren't live videos.
Was there any out of the 700? That's what you saw.
Oh yeah, there was lots.
There was a few, but none with a full band rocking out Edge style.
Okay,
it was like people doing like acoustic, like real kind of like or pop or rap.
But
or
nobody
whatever.
like rocking out with a band.
No one that went like full 90s, like what we know the Edge as.
So there's a conspiracy out here, pretty much.
Okay. Anyway, you know what? Maybe I haven't really been listening to the Edge in a while. You know, maybe times have changed. But so this all happens. The day the top 10 comes out, we're fucking crushed. We see like the pics. It's like a lyric video, kind of a pop song. Mm-hmm. You know, there's like a Johnny Cash sounding dude, like being like the river and the meadow, going where the birds fly. And we're just like, what the fuck is this shit? You know what I mean? So anyway, we have a vengeance now. We're on this podcast not hyping up our song. If you want to check it out, you just go to YouTube, John Famos, JOHN space FAMOS, the one, like spelled ONE. Check this video out. If you grew up listening to The Edge, we need like.
But it's still on the Edge's channel.
It's still on the Edge's channel. We haven't switched it over to ours.
Views into them.
Check out the top 10. Give them a vote because, like, obviously, what the Edge did is we think that they weren't picking like a song in the summer that the Edge would like rock and like everyone would. They were like helping out artists that like had potential or whatever. And I think we went a little too high budge.
Fuck those guys, man.
We think we went a little too high budge.
It's
on
funny you say that. We relate to that.
Tell the story.
You know what I'm talking about.
I know exactly what you're talking
about. Where you went too high budge?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, let's hear it.
So, actually, honestly, this is So
we haven't told that on the pod.
Yeah, we haven't. So this actually has to do with Western. So with Cast, man, we were late. We're like the same people pretty much. If I actually dyed my hair, I would be you.
It's like we're almost
like if I fall through my bed, I'd be you. Yeah, we'd be the same.
we look identical.
We're like twins.
Yeah.
Anyways, we went on this competition. There was this. How do we find out about it? You found out.
I found out about it.
Yeah. Amplify Western. It's basically like a tech stars, tech incubator type thing, or tech startup.
No, it was a business startup. Yeah,
business startup, tech startup. Business startup at Western.
Oh, so you guys have been doing Cast for a while, eh?
We founded the company basically in September of 2020. We launched our beta in January. We launched on the App Store.
So not at Western. This is like after the fact.
Yeah, no, this is like recently. Sorry. This
is for Western alumni.
It's for Western alumni.
Yeah,
sorry,
okay.
My fault. Western alumni competition. This was back in May.
Yeah, because we had already launched.
We just launched, yeah. Anyways, we see this competition. We signed up at like the last minute. Like I wasn't even gonna sign up. I was like, whatever, doesn't seem that big of a deal. Like I think first place won
$5,000
$5,000 or something. There's a few $5,000 prize. So we're like, it's still $5,000. We had bootstrapped our company at that point, and we put a lot of money into raising. So we're like, okay, we'll put some effort in. But like, 'cause we thought the maximum prize is $5,000. We're thinking, we have a sick startup. No one else is doing a social app here. Like, this is a pretty great idea. It's a massive idea. We have the most potential to like scale globally. But I was like, $5,000. Okay, we'll use that to like have a team party or something. We submit our startup. so you submit, and then they selected 20. We got selected for the 20. And when in the last minute, so we're like, oh, sick. Like, we made it we got to the 20. Like, this is amazing. So we have like these meetings. They're kind of like teaching us or telling us about like how it's going to go. So basically what happens, they pick 20 companies or startups. And then there's like there's a panel basically. And you kind of go in front, you get a 5-minute pitch.
No, tell about the coach first.
Yeah. Oh, this is the fuck. Jesus. So anyways, but the point of it is you got to, this guy got so mad. Anyways, you get a 5-minute pitch, and you basically like it's almost like a Dragon's Den type thing. You pitch quick. At the end, they vote who's the best, and they have the finalists win the prizes, whatever. So this is what we know, and they assign you with like a coach, like a mentor. So
was it like a Western affiliate?
Yeah, it was actually with Western.
Oh, can you not say it?
No, the mentor was not. It was some random person. Okay. I don't even know who it was. I don't know. She was like maybe in her 60s, and she was like a life coach, business coach. No offense to anybody who's a business coach out there, but like unless you have scaled a business, sold a business, climbed the corporate ladder to a C-level suite, like,
or if you can pretend and convince other people you have.
Well, no, but in general, like to me, if you're gonna coach someone to do something, you should have done something in life.
Totally.
Whatever it is, it doesn't matter. I'm not saying you have to be a millionaire, but you have to have shown. You have to help somebody that does for sure.
Yeah,
like fucking look like Tony Robbins or something. You know, fucking Wolf of Wall Street kind
of.
To
be honest,
fire me up.
But see, I have a problem with that. I have problems with shysters like that, like fucking Ty Lopez and these fucking clowns who go on just to spend money. Dude,
who's Ty Lopez?
The guy who got famous off YouTube talking about like the fucking cell phones,
books,
Ferraris,
and knowledge. Yeah,
bullshit artist, snake oil salesman, if you will. So, anyways, we get assigned this coach.
Fuck you, Ty Lopez.
Fuck you.
No, I'm sorry.
Ty, I got nothing against you. I don't know who you are.
They're all just.
Yeah, anyways, I don't know.
I'm just kidding.
So we get assigned this competition. We get selected. We're like sick. We're like, okay, let's take this meeting with the coach. Let's see what they have to say. So we fire off our deck to the coach so they can kind of go over it and let us know, give us some tips. I remember how everything went, kind of blocking out of my memory, but we get on this call and it's a lady who's like in her 60s, like looks kind of hippie-ish. Not that's a bad thing, but just doesn't look like a business coach. I was like, oh, this is interesting. So
let me put her on blast a little bit, actually, because you're saying this way too nice. So we get on the call. First off, she's 30 minutes late. We sent her a Google Calendar invite for the meeting. And she, like 30 minutes before, she's like, oh, I've been waiting for 10 minutes. We're like, we're on the
She's like, we've been waiting for 10 minutes. We'll just reschedule. Like, I'm too busy. Like, so I reply saying, hey, sorry. Like, did we get the time wrong? We sent you an invite. It starts 30 minutes. He replies, oh, sorry, I'll be on. Yeah. So right away, I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, go ahead.
Then we start the video. Do you know when like you have like a 6-year-old who accidentally opens like the camera on their iPhone and like the face is like super like
yeah.
See this.
Yeah, you don't see the whole face. You just see this up.
Yeah.
Okay. Red flag right off the bat. Like, you're a life coach, and over COVID, you haven't figured out how to use Zoom and Skype yet. What the fuck?
Sauce.
Anyways, then she had all these multicolored fingernails. Like, yo, I'm
not like the cool like tip ones. Like
not like cool a manicure, not like a nice
those
manicure.
Nails.
Not like a nice manicure. No French tip. No, it's like her daughter painted her nails. Whatever. Then she's clearly in. It's like a dark room, clearly like her son's bedroom or something. Like,
like dark, it just looked like very. I don't know, like hippie-ish. I don't know how else to say it. Like, that's kind of the vibe. So we start talking. We go over our deck. She's like, honestly, I can't even remember how the whole conversation went. But we started going over the deck. She's like, okay, well, what are you guys doing? What's your, like, thing? I was like, well, we sent you the deck beforehand. Did you not read it? Like, we're a social...
Oh, no, I read it. I downloaded it. Okay, so we're like, okay. So about 30 minutes later, she's like, I'm on your website, and I just can't figure out how to get in. We're like, lady, it's a mobile app.
So she told us,
but I'm in, like, I'm on the website.
Oh, so
like,
she's a liar.
Lady,
yeah.
There's no fucking, like, the website's a landing page so you can download the app. What in the world?
She's like, I don't get the app. I don't understand it. But you just told us you had the app. So you don't. I even sent the download links to send everything.
Yeah.
Okay, well, like, listen, you gotta like convince me. Why am I gonna use your app? Convince you. I'm like,
you're not.
I'm like, you're not a target demographic. I'm like, respectfully, you're not my target demographic. Like, we're going after like people younger than us, like 19-year-olds. She's like, well, you have to have a pitch. You got to convince people. These people, these investors, they're going to be like my age. So if you're going to pitch to the people on the panel, you're going to have to convince them like me. I was like, are you sure? Do you know the panel? Because like I think there's some young people on it because I know some people that might be involved with it. She's like, yeah, you have to convince them. People like me don't know technology. I was like, well, I think people who'd be investing in a startup on a panel to invest in startups would understand a little bit. Anyways, we go this round
so you
and round.
wouldn't invest in Facebook, right?
Yeah, we go round and round, and she, at the end, we'll wrap this part up. She goes, basically, she's like, okay, listen, why don't we do this? We'll schedule some more times because you guys clearly need some help. Well, you guys go back, take it back. We'll schedule time before the meeting. This is like on a Friday. We have a week till the pitch. She's like, we'll talk on like Wednesday. You guys can walk me through everything. Make sure we know
do
you
it again
nailed
on Friday.
Like, yeah. Or like, all of us are like looking at each other. Three of us in front of that computer. We're like, and I can see Rick. He never gets mad. He's pretty composed. He'll lose it after. He looks at me. He's like, I see him like grabbing the chair and white knuckling.
I literally looked because George is like, she's like, okay, we're gonna schedule what works for you, and like George is like being nice, like pretending to look at his calendar. I was like, look, don't worry, we'll get you a date that works for us. Thank you so much. And I ended the call. I was like, I can't do this anymore. Like this is
Wait, no. Before you ended it, while we're trying to figure this out, being nice, she's like, oh, and by the way, you guys have shit. She goes, by the way, your LinkedIn's are shit. Literally, word for word, your LinkedIn's are shit. And I was like, at that point, I was like, excuse me? Like, I was actually like, I was more like this. I'm like, how do you say this?
You hear the kicker on this?
Yeah.
She says shit.
She said your LinkedIn's are shit. So then I was like, excuse me? She's like, yeah, you're trying to sell your company. You like your profile on LinkedIn is shit. I was like, excuse me, man. That's first of all, man, that's rude. But I was like, what do you mean it's shit? Well, you know, like your LinkedIn don't say what you do. Like it says, George, you're a janitor. I was like, because I own a cleaning company. She's like, well, you're trying to sell a social media app. You can't be a janitor. I was like, well, ma'am, respectfully, my family owns a cleaning company. I'm very proud of that. So I highlight that we have a cleaning company. I started as a janitor. She goes, yeah, well, it sucks. I was like, and she's like, and then she goes, yeah, and I couldn't even find the other guys. I was like, wait. So we got off the call, and we got up. Like,
She said your LinkedIn's are shit, but it was just
wait,
your
exactly,
LinkedIn.
so the call ends, but wait, it didn't click right away. It didn't process right away. So we hang Ricky, and then Rick goes, hey, we'll get you a date. Hangs up. And I turn around, I'm like, did she just say our LinkedIn's are shit, but she only found my LinkedIn? And then we all start for like 10 minutes. We're on the floor crying.
Oh
Because
my
like, if there's
God.
one person who like takes LinkedIn serious out of all of us, it's George.
This guy.
Yeah.
I actually,
That's why she found it.
honestly, and anyway, so the emailed us like a day later. Like, yeah, we're waiting for that date. I was like, don't worry, we're good. We'll wing it. This is a long story to the point of like how it lines up with your competition thing. So we go in, we're like, you know what? Honestly, we're like, fuck this lady. She doesn't know what she's talking about. This lady's gonna coach us. Like, first of all, like, this makes the competition look bad. I was like, we can complain about her, but I was like, you know what? We're not gonna be little like fucking. Did we complain about her?
No.
I was like, yeah, we're not gonna be little sore losers. We're gonna go in and we're gonna fucking kill this thing because we're the best app.
Yeah.
We're the best startup. No one's got what we got. BDE, we're going in with
Our factor.
Yeah, our factor.
Our factor.
Yeah.
So-
So obviously didn't use that, or else you would have
No,
won.
we would have. Big mistake.
Yeah,
big mistake. So we go into this pitch. We thought like we've done research on how to pitch to like venture capitalists. You have to go over all the things. We get into the pitch. We have technical difficulties. I didn't have Zoom. We didn't have Zoom because we're fucking trying to be cheap. So we never installed. So I couldn't share my screen. You have 5 minutes as soon as you enter the room. It starts. Timer starts. No makeups.
This was virtual.
I'm fumbling. I'm like, oh my gosh.
Sorry,
I'm so
sorry,
I'm
guys,
sweating.
guys,
And
sorry,
all the
guys.
panels, all young people. So was our target demo. I fuck everything up. Like, listen, get out, go out. We'll give you 5 minutes. Don't worry. Like, calm down. You're good. I was like flustered. I was like, pissed. I was like, oh my God, we're fucking
Said sorry,
fumbled
They
this.
gave
30
you
times.
5.
They're like, yeah, go, come back. So we get out, we
That's-
just close it down, we come back in, then I can start again. So we start, we going through our whole pitch. I'm like, I don't get nervous anymore when I present anything to people, but on this pitch I was like this, like my arm was like, I had like dropped water, I was like shaking. I could,
The
like,
knees were going?
visibly rattled,
Yeah.
rattled. But even though we like killed the presentation, I'm like, okay, we did pretty sick. Like, we're still gonna do good. Like, one of the guys in the panel was like somebody we knew. Like, oh, he must know what we're doing, so he's gonna like, you know, he knows what we're doing is sick. We're all jazzed up. We end it. We're like, we still fucking killed. We're gonna win this 5,000 goal tonight, boys. $5,000 team party. We're all
Spent.
fired up.
Yeah.
3 o'clock was when they announced the thing. We go on. Not only did we not win, they go, oh, we had so many great. They were like announcing them. Like, we had so many great presentations. We actually expanded it. So we have a few more constellation ones. We're like, oh, okay, now we got this. They saw us. So like, these guys have to get something. 3 more that wasn't even, not even like someone like, I don't even know, some. I saw these companies. I'm like, what?
You know what it is though? It's because
No way.
you didn't need the help.
But see, that's
That's
what
what it
you
was.
said at the beginning. And when we told them in our pitch, we misread the room big time. Because
Yeah.
we came in saying like we bootstrapped it, we put all this money in. We're pitching against like 20-year-olds who don't have any money
Who's
to their
like
name.
they're selling like flavored ice cubes and shit.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
And like we put
and they
in,
got
was
like
that one of the
10,000
companies?
We put in, like-
$5,000 in sales when they was like the coolest thing in the world. Like,
I got
Yeah.
like $25,000 from Western's entrepreneurship program for a jewelry company, male bracelets.
come on.
They give it to people who need it.
see, I wish our fucking life coach gave us that advice.
But see, the worst part is too is that as we're getting, the worst part is we also didn't prepare for this. We're like, you know what, 5,000, whatever. We're walking in like we're gonna kill it anyways. We're gonna spend a minute like rehearse before we get in here. We'll just kill it. We get in and they're giving us like this announcement like about the competition. don't we find out in the competition that, oh yeah, these prizes happen, but the top 3 get win 5,000, go in front of the entire alumni like board, which is like all very well-to-do people. And last year, 3 companies raised $1 million. Go ahead. So they're like last year the 3 winners raised a cumulative amount of $1 million, and then we're like, what?
This is as they're announcing the winners.
And I'm like thinking no one fucking told us this. So like, not only do we get a shit coach, we got no fucking help. We still went in thinking we're gonna win it. Nothing.
But like, look at you now.
And now we're sitting here. The 2 biggest podcasts in Toronto are hanging out.
2 biggest podcasts coming together.
Hanging
talk
out.
about cast. You got some investment today.
Yeah,
We got some investment today.
We'll talk.
No, I went through all those programs. I actually want to know like who some of these people were, because when they were just starting the entrepreneurship programs at Western, it was only like 6 or 7 years ago. I feel like maybe 8 years ago.
Yeah, it's still fairly new.
Mm-hmm. So we were like the initial groups of student businesses they took in. Such a good time. Couldn't speak more highly of it. But yeah, like this going in hot, think you're gonna win it, like putting like all this money into it, expecting to win. We do that for like everything, and we get shit on a lot. Like we literally applied for a grant writing service. And like, not to dish us, because I wanted to come on.
Oh, this was good.
We wanted to come on this episode, and we're like, dude, like, don't give the real shit. Like, manifest. We're the best fucking band in the city. Like, unstoppable. Everything's going so great, but we're just only telling like these absolute stories. There's a grant writing service. Lots of grants you can apply for as an artist, and we do need it. If you're listening, we need it. This service takes people on, and they'll write your grant for you, and they have a higher success rate because they have connections. They know exactly what's supposed to go on it. One of our friends used it, got $60,000, something crazy. And
So I reach out, I ask him, I was like, what service do you use? And he gave me the info. I look it up, whatever. I'm like, oh, perfect, Gonna email this guy, get him to write the grant for us, money. And
send all our best shit.
So I send him a note, and I introduced ourselves, it's our band, John Famos, and how do you guys go about taking on clients,
Promising
whatever, and
clients,
like writing and everything. And so he has a team of people that look into sort of like eligibility and like how well you're going to perform with these grants or whatever. And so I obviously gave him the band name, and he looked into our thing, and he got back to us. He didn't mince words. I think the one standout line that he had for us was John Famos has less than a 5% chance of getting this grant. And we're like
still steaming.
Yeah. And like
steaming.
I sent him, because we applied for this grant last year and did like very well. We're like a couple points off of the percentage that you needed to make it.
And he's like, everybody is.
Yeah.
He's a business, you're not special.
And
He's like, everyone's a
I
couple
sent him
points
remarks
off.
and everything. Yeah. And he just shot us right down.
So the world's against us, okay, right now, and that's the real rockstar. I actually think it's more rockstar now to be like a put together, like normal guy who, like, you see all these kids, younger, like rock stars on TikTok or whatever, and they're just like dangling earrings, dreamy, like emotional. Danielle knows what we're talking about. They're like already like 7 major breakups with famous actresses somehow, and they're like 21, and like they write about all these feelings, and like they're so messed up or whatever. We're normal. Like we check the boxes. Like we can go meet your parents. Like it's almost like more rock and roll that we're just like regular.
Yeah.
We just make rock music, like it's actually nails, I think. But the what I want to wrap it up with talking about the band, because I do want to like just share a couple like just shoot the shit stories about Western before we
Love it.
Check out John Famos. We're about to release. So we thought, again, we had this whole release plan based around winning this competition. So we delayed releasing a bunch of music. So it's coming out just willy-nilly now. Probably in the next couple weeks. We got Summer Days, the one recorded version, Blue Hair, which is kind of like, Blue Hair is kind of like Cass. It's about, everything that's going on.
Okay.
It's a bit of a statement.
No, but the songs, we're really stoked on this set of songs, and
getting better and
we're
better.
extremely proud of the videos that we did that he was talking about for the competition as well, because they turned out really sick. And
That's awesome.
So we're stoked to
Are
release.
you guys
this
releasing
stuff.
them as
But,
an EP, as an album, or just individual singles?
We're gonna do singles. It's like
We're
it's
done with,
pulling
like, the
teeth
process
to get
that
people
everyone
to
does.
listen to bunches of
In fact,
songs
don't
unless
listen
you
to
have
it.
the audience. It's like you'll get more longevity out of doing singles and stuff, and can keep
What about
using the
shows?
material.
You guys have any shows lined up?
Man, we used to play all the time. Like shows are like the reason, honestly, like the main thing.
Obviously, you want to be famous. Hello.
Dude, shows
John
are the
Famos.
best. Like there's like this electric feeling when you're up there, and I don't even know how to have you ever done like a public speaking event or like
Literally, 2 weeks ago.
hell yeah.
I used to DJ, so it was. I've been on stage. in
Oh,
front of-
okay. I thought it was Ricky the DJ. You were the DJ at Western.
Try to say, listen, that guy play music, anything. That guy has 2 left feet.
I got you. I got
Zero-
you.
zero
No.
musical
But
talent. I'm sick on
I actually played
stage.
drums in high school,
Nice.
so I was pretty metal, I
Sick.
sucked. Actually, I told the story recently. I was in a band back in the day.
What was it called?
It would be, if anything, it'd be called John Unfamos, if anything, because I would never have gone anywhere. I'll tell the story. I told it once before. You guys seem like the group to tell it to. We played. I was in grade 7 or grade 8. I was in a middle school, yeah, junior high, whatever. I started playing clarinet. Thought it was dorky. Twisted drums naturally. I was okay. Like I could keep tempo and shit, but I was very, very timid in general. Like I said, even before I went to Western, whatever. I could not stand in front of a crowd of people. I could stand in front of a room full of people I knew and talk for hours. But one person from me I don't know, I'd shit my pants. I'm scared of what they're gonna think. Anyways, me and two buddies, one bassist and one guitarist, we used to get together and like play in my basement. I think we played like "Smoke on the Water" and some other fucking basic Blink song or something.
That's all we do.
Yeah, actually,
Kinda.
No, but I think it was "Smoke on the Water." We played like one thing in the talent show. We get on stage, have my drum set up there. I'm all fired up. I was so like I was just so like in my own zone, thinking the drummer like just keep tempo, fucking ignore everything else. All I could hear was the drums, ignored everything. So I played like at a double time.
Yeah.
So I was just going like in my own thing, and I keep seeing the guys turn back at me, and I was like, "Fuck, this looking at like we're jamming, let's go, great." Yeah. So, but I was off tempo the whole time.
You can't hear them. The drummer can only hear yourself.
I was just in my own. It's like how I talk. I don't hear myself. I don't hear most people. But I was going like crazy. I was like at the end. I was like, "Oh, sick, killed it." Fucking, they're
kill
like,
it.
"George, you were offbeat the entire
That's
song."
why you pick DJing. It's got the
Yes,
little
oh.
beat counter. You can see them line them up.
Exactly.
You're sweating up there. You're getting real wet for some reason.
So, anyways, that's where my career of being a musician or a drummer.
No,
like, in a
DJing
band
is
ended.
DJing is way cooler. Like
Honestly, I had a pretty good run. Thanks to Rick.
What was your DJ name?
Jivon B.
hell yeah,
Love it.
hell yeah, man. I can't believe I never caught a Giveon B show when I was at Western.
Honestly,
Wait, what's the
Right, you
contact?
probably
What's the
have.
story behind that?
The
probably
story is, it's so stupid. So actually, Andrew Moretti, who was Alexander's older brother, was in Sigma Chi. We were in third year. I used to be my first DJ. I was DJ with a frat brother of mine. It's called Deadbeats with a Z.
I kind of like that.
Remember one time. I remember a guy from
It's like
Sigma.
Murder Beats.
You know Ben You know Ben Rosenberg?
Yeah, I know the name.
Golden. He used to be called Golden
I've heard of
Gloves.
that
Then he was
guy.
Poupon.
Yeah. I've heard a couple of songs.
Was in Sigma Chi, yeah. I remember when I started getting up to DJing and started playing. I remember hearing him once say like, anyone who has a Z in their name is a loser, and he didn't say it to me. I just heard him say to someone.
Yeah, you're like,
I got so insecure about it. I was like, we got to change his name ASAP because he was like the big guy at Western at the time. Anyways, after me and my buddy ended up splitting up, and I went on my own because I was like playing other shows. Like I was like working with Ricky and Reddy. I was like felt kind of on my own, like a little bit of an ego thing, but whatever. We won't go there. Me and Andrew and Alexander were hanging out on a Friday, just shoot the shit. And Andrew's like, "You need a fucking cool name, man." He's like, "You can't do this Deadbeats bullshit. You can't do anything. You need something that sounds kind of Dutch and kind of French." And I was like, "What does that even mean?" He's like,
You
"You need
need
something
like Claude Von Stroke or something, like guys like that, right?
So he's like, "You need a Vaughn in your name." I was like, "No." I was honestly just gonna go with like something with George or whatever. He's like, "You need a Vaughn in the middle. There's something." He's like, "How about George Von Bootsy?" My last name's Boutsalis. And I was like, if I ever abbreviate my last name, my dad will like come and murder me on stage. I was like, I'm not doing George Von
And
Bootsy.
fucking clean it up right after. Not a spit of evidence.
Exactly. 100%. So he's like, how about, G Von Bootsy? He's just going all these names. And I was like, these are terrible. He's like, how about Givon B? Like,
He just laid it out
Givon
like
She?
that.
And I was like, oh, I don't know. It sounds stupid still, but maybe. But like most names sound stupid. Anyways, ended up
Did you
sticking.
make a logo?
Yeah, we got like headshots, press kit, everything. And I remember when we did the press shots, he was there. And he's like, we're gonna make it look sick. We're gonna make it the biggest fucking thing in Toronto, biggest thing in Western. He's like, if you're gonna do these photos, you're gonna do it properly. I'm gonna tell you how to dress. I was like, all right, cool. I'm like, most DJs wear black on a white backdrop, but
You wear
he's
white
like,
on a black backdrop.
no, but that would have been so slick. That was actually really fucking funny. Honestly, maybe I did. I don't even remember. No, I think I'm in black. But it was one outfit. He had me bring like a blazer and wear a white shirt, like a white V-neck. And he gave me an ascot. You guys know what ascots are, right?
What's an ascot?
You know what an ascot is? Okay, so
It's like a scarf?
a French
Yeah.
scarf. So you tie it, and like the bow only goes like a little bit out, so it looks like a woman's scarf, basically.
Yeah, man,
dainty scarf.
unreal.
So I can probably find them somewhere. But anyways, that was my name, Givon B, and I dressed like a French
Dude, if you ever want to get back in the game,
provocateur,
man.
I guess you can say.
Every time you DJ'd.
I wouldn't wear it because I refused to.
dude.
I literally went all black, the same as every DJ.
If you ever want to get back in the game, man, I have visions. I could see Givon B opening unless you're again you
I'm
could
still
we
pretty
could be
sick.
opening for you, dude.
I'm still pretty. No. I'm
just saying.
But I actually bought turn. Like I haven't DJ'd in since probably. I don't even know, 2014 or something, a long time ago. I just gave it up. I couldn't fucking be doing that and being at work at like 8 in the morning. It's impossible. So I just said, you know what? Time to retire the headphones. And I wasn't really much of a producer. Like I got into it a bit, but I didn't have the, like, I didn't want to dedicate the time. Didn't want to go through that whole process. Kind of knew what my vision, what my plan was, but as we discussed, I didn't know what it was. So I haven't needed it since, but I've actually bought turntables during COVID because I was bored as shit. I was like, I'm going to drink every night. I might as well do something, make some music or something.
It's much better than getting addicted to Call of Duty.
I did that at first, but I got rid of my PlayStation because I was like, I
I
literally
did the opposite. I got like a gaming PC and like a whole setup.
You got into it.
It was ranked.
Oh, really?
Dude, I got top 115th in Canada. at
So
one
our
point.
co-founder is like top 20, I think, in Canada.
He's on a competition,
wild.
dude.
I'm not. That's sick.
Depends who you play with, you know. Like,
No,
there's a
I'm
lot of
saying-
factors. I didn't really have the gaming PC till late in the thing, you know. I was kind of, you know. Anyway, whatever.
I wasn't saying. Man, I'm dying. I wasn't saying to make it
I'm
one up.
joking. I'm joking.
I was saying like he's fucking good. You guys should play together. Like he's a
No, I
game,
quit.
is he?
I quit.
So yeah, and you guys,
Oh,
this
dude,
is
I
so
get,
funny.
it was like I got dumped in COVID because of it. Like, dude, that video game, fuck that video game. I would have wished I bought turntables.
I gave up that video game, and honestly, it was around the time when when Cass was starting up. I'm very grateful. It was my brother's PlayStation. I like just jacked it from him to play. He wanted it back. Thankfully, he did, because if I had it stopped, probably would, like, Cass wouldn't be where it is. Like everything, it's, like, it's a time suck. It's fun.
Yeah,
it's fun as
There'd
shit.
be no Becca. I tell you that for free. Like, these are-
Holy shit! Holy, you're not wrong. You're definitely not wrong. But fuck.
Shout out Jasmine. Sorry,
Honestly,
sorry about that. Sorry about all that.
well, no, man.
No,
you
my
killed it.
ex. I'll shout out my ex.
I picked that up. I was like, who the fuck is he shout out? Like,
No, but how the fuck did we get? Are we talking about turntable? I don't even know.
Oh, because I wanted what I wanted to
Oh,
know.
that was
about-
my DJ name. Sorry, whoever. Yeah,
Yeah,
that was,
yeah.
What
that
I
was my
wanted to know
DJ
about-
name, Givon B.
I wanted to know about DJing is like my only knowledge of DJing is watching that like Zac Efron movie.
Oh yeah,
Which one?
the one with Emily Ratajkowski.
It's fucking. I have no
see when he
idea.
becomes a DJ.
Yeah, 120
Yeah.
beats per minute. That's all I remember. Was it? We are your
Oh,
friends.
That's it. Yeah.
That's the only thing I know about DJing. But so what I was talking about is what I wanted to know from DJing is when I go on stage, you know, when you're at the front of the stage, you got the guitar and rock music's just coming out, like it's just fucking flowing out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you're singing and you're looking out into the audience, like you feel powerful, like you feel like electric, like there's electricity coming, and like I don't know, I get this like insane like superhero feeling, and I just didn't know if you get that DJing, because in the movie they made it seem like he's like, once you hit 120 beats per minute, their hearts start to align with the beat, and it's like zooming into, and then some girl starts like moving her hips, and then it zooms to some guy, and he's like dancing, and then next thing you know, the whole party's changing. He's vibe, like it made me feel like DJs get that too.
Yeah.
but I don't know if it's a different feeling because I get that when I'm playing for like 30 people or 300 people. It's like just straight.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I
the galaxy.
I don't remember that much, but I can tell you that I played some pretty fucking sick shows, like just as a result of being just a little bit of luck, right place, right time, and being having some skill, a little bit, not much. But I had a residency at Cobra London. I don't know if you guys were around.
I love Cobra.
Love
So
it.
Cobra, when we were there, Cobra Fridays, well, Thursday, Friday, Saturdays, but Fridays was the big like. They would book like DJs that were like not superstars, but not like nobodies. They were like international DJs that were coming up. Like I don't know how much you guys know. Do you guys know house music?
A little bit.
A little bit. Do you know who, like Max Vangeli is?
Yeah.
So him and like Antoine were like Steve Angelo's younger brother's posse.
I remember they had Mark Knight there one night too.
Mark Knight,
Yeah.
Thomas Gold, Sunnery James, Ryan Marciano. I know you don't know who these people
Dancing
are.
Astronauts.
No, manufactured superstars.
Manufactured superstars.
But they look like astronauts. There was anyways back then a lot of big ones.
I had a good
There was
idea
a
for
few.
something like that. In
Okay.
first year, I want to start a DJ group called the Fly Boys because I was in piloting aviation school.
And we're fucking aviators.
No, I wanted to wear like how like DJs hide their face at the time. I wanted to wear the full like fighter pilot helmet, with like the visor that comes down and like the mask that hangs to the side, full jumpsuit. And I laid this all out like no one knows who you are. You're just a Fly Boys, You're just up there like two DJs. No one knows who you are. And then eventually, like big shows like jets fly over, you parachute into your set. Someone could take that, but just give me credit. I want to be the second Fly Boy. If anyone's good at DJ, anyway.
That's a sick idea. That's fucked up.
Never heard that before. It's pretty sick.
Yeah, you know what? Maybe edit that out. I want
Change
that
the
back.
band name to Fly Boys.
Yeah, shit.
We can bleep it.
Nah, whatever. Just make me the second Fly Boy. I have great ideas. I can still fly a plane. We could do this whole thing anyway.
Fuck. To answer your question before too, about getting that energy. Like when I first started playing those shows, like I opened for Avicii back in the day. Rest in peace. That was my first big show. Like the first show I ever
played opener for him.
Oh yeah,
He was
first show
sick.
I ever played in my life at like a club.
That's
like
a little
opening
fucked
was in front of Avicii.
It's so
Was he
sick.
does he watch a show? Or would he hang in the room and like just focus?
He probably came in like with like a couple songs left, threw his music on. Like he didn't like. I think he put his own USBs in at the time. Like I don't even think he had a manager with him.
And what venue was
He did?
this?
This was at Mansion in London.
Yeah, I remember.
This was 2009, 10. He just released like Bromance. Levels wasn't out yet. It was just coming out.
My Feelings for You was his big song, and then Bromance just came
That's
out.
a banger.
Dude, My Feelings for You was a banger too. So he was popular then. This was like you would have been hyped. Like you'd have been like,
Oh
holy
yeah. Like
fuck.
So
I
he
was
had just
I was
played-
standing in the center of like 500 people.
He had
I
just
was
played,
like, my balls were tingling. I was so scared and so hyped up at the same time. I didn't
That's
know
the
what-
energy.
That's the
Yeah.
energy.
Yeah,
man.
that's
Your balls were tingling.
Yeah.
His balls were tingling, dude. That's how you
No,
know.
but he had
That's
just
how you
played
know.
Labor of Love in September. You remember Gov used to do Labor of Love? He played the Sunrise set at Labor of Love.
I don't know the Gov stuff.
Yeah, it's sketchy, scary.
I was a little late to that mix.
Scary.
You went to a
Wow.
couple.
Yeah.
I feel like you went to a few raves. Yeah, you got the eyes, man. You got the rave eyes. Like you could just see him in the crowd. Just
It's got the R factor.
the R factor at Gov.
the R
6
factor.
a.m.
Oh,
No, I'm not there at 6 a.m. Unless it's Sunrise set.
That's
then
not the
maybe.
R factor, man. Anyway, sorry.
But you could feel like I would get like really fucking hyped up. There was
Yeah.
times I played, I'd be like the empty crowd. I'm like, oh, it's kind of like more like a job than anything. But like I got really lucky playing big shows that I play. And I'm like, oh,
That'd be
this
like an
is fucked.
acoustic set for us. Like we play like Chironi, like just for like the guests eating food, and like enjoyable. But it felt a little bit like a job.
Yeah.
You're like you're eating pasta, and we're like
Yeah.
California, and they're like, oh, is this from
Sometimes
the OC?
there'd be
And
no
like,
one there.
Yeah, there'd be no one there. But like
You get told to turn it down.
it was that happens a lot. We turn it up. We're a rock band, and we make it known we're playing Toronto. We're like, listen, we're playing this acoustic for you, but don't get it twisted. We're a fucking rock band. All right, like
I just want my pizza.
Yeah.
Shut up.
we get a free pasta. We're a rock band. We're John Famos.
We went back and played a couple formals a couple
Oh
times.
yeah,
That
That
was
was
fun.
fun.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah,
those
Let
are.
somebody come. I'm in.
Yeah,
Dude.
you have a show. Tell us. We'll come see you guys play anywhere. We'll try to
Absolutely.
fucking London for a show. We'll crash.
We got
formal.
so we, that's what we were talking about.
Is it a
Shows.
res
You said,
formal?
you said we have any show?
No.
No. We play frat formals.
Yeah.
Oh,
Like for SIGs.
legit.
Yeah, dude.
That must have been metal, like fucking rock band.
People get way more. I feel like they get way more different fucked up than we did.
Nowadays.
Yeah, they get
Oh,
like
yeah,
they
yeah.
get like nothing behind the eyes fucked up, kind of. You
like
know,
lights on, no one's home.
like that kind of like hanging jaw, like
yeah.
Whereas I feel like we were a bit more alert. I don't know why.
Yeah.
You know?
It was fun. But mind you, they probably thought the same when they were older, like younger. Same thing.
Maybe. But anyway, you were asking if we had shows lined up. Going into COVID, we were playing a bunch. COVID dumped that. That's part of where like that next existential crisis came from. Because like I was using it to fill my cup. Didn't know it was making me happy. Yeah, whatever, all this shit. And then coming back, we just made some songs. Like we went through our ups and downs, almost broke up. So we have these songs coming out. That's what we're doing. We haven't really started up the live shows because it's still a little sketchy. Our bandmates, they're kind of they started doing their own things in COVID. Like one got like a really intense job. They're both working, so it's like we kind of have to refigure out how to do it. Because again, we're like the core of the band. We finance it all. We write the music, and then these guys we play with, they're in the band. Like they write with us, they help out. They play live with us. But now that they're kind of doing their own things. We got to figure out whether they're into coming back or ripping it before we fire it up. But we also want to do it right. Like right before COVID, we were going to play, like we had this big plan to play like a huge show at the Drake, like launch all this music, just get bigger and bigger. We're going up. And then it just steamed just out. Edge competition, 5% grant or likelihood. We didn't get that.
And we've been offered a couple lately, but it's hard to be like, we haven't played a show in so long. We can't just be like, okay, one practice, we're in for it. So until we have like a more consistent sort of agenda going.
But soon enough, man, like playing in the winter sucks too. Kind of like trying to avoid getting booked anything in the winter. That sucks. Like hauling gear, we don't have roadies yet. Of course. Like who the fuck would do that?
We'll come carry some gear for free pasta.
Yeah, I mean we'd do a lot for free pasta. Yeah, but no. So like we're just focused on putting like we went like hardcore professional. Like we dumped a bunch of money into it. We made an EP at home, and then we ripped to the studio. Like thought like that's what we needed. We made like all these professional songs, and then we kind of realized that like it's not really what it's about, because like doing it like the traditional way, like pre-save our thing, like go like our shit, go like we need all this stuff. People don't give a shit, really. They just want a song that connects. And if it connects, they'll play it. And they'll share it. And us dumping all this money in the studio, it kind of took away from like what our X factor is, which is, I think what our talent is in making music is we know how to make feel in music. Like, no matter how shitty the quality is, you're going to feel something. Because I'm not, he's a musician. I'm all ear. I'm all feel. When I listen to music, any genre, I know what feels like that makes you feel something.
Makes sense. I know exactly what you're talking about.
So that's how we write. And when we go to the studio and you put it in other people's hands, it sounds radio quality. It sounds professional, but you lose that feel.
The feel. 100%.
So we're kind of going back to grassroots.
Plus, we're also broke.
Oh, we're broke as shit.
Same.
Yeah. We dump our money. You dump your money into your projects.
Yeah.
So yeah, very broke.
Yeah, I'm selling a 1979 Triumph Spitfire. If you're interested, I love that car. It's a car. Okay. Yeah. You know what? We need the cash. That's a joke, but that's real. If you're interested. But yeah, no, like.
You guys have motorcycles?
Yeah, I got a hog. Yeah.
Oh, I see the fucking.
Danielle's been on it.
Yeah.
I've been on it.
Oh yeah. Is that like actually, or is it like a little Vespa?
She's a fat hog. Absolute beast of a unit out there.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I'm sorry. Segue. I saw we were walking to the park yesterday. We were going to promote Castle Walk around Trading Bells. We give out like we don't give out alcohol, and we give out.
Watch what you say there.
We give out bucket hats and fucking Viper glasses. They're sick. Anyways, we were walking across the street with our wagons, getting across there, and we saw these we heard these fucking engines revving. I'm like, oh, someone's got like a motorcycle coming down. So I go,
Tony
guys.
and Eric.
What?
I made that up, obviously. I don't know.
No, I was gonna say, I thought it was like motorcycles, and I looked to my right from where in front of Tironi. These fucking 6 Vespas roll out.
Oh, what?
But they're like guys in suits with helmets like that. Like they looked like proper Italian kind of, but had suits and had little raccoon tail things. So they looked like they were from they looked like from Milan, but their Vespa sounded like they were from the East End. It was the most bizarre.
Had souped up Vespas?
It was bizarre.
Yeah, and then one of them was a 2-person Vespa.
Yeah, the little sidecar.
Yeah.
So they were the most intimidating, non-intimidating, most I don't know how to explain this. They seem like an intimidating.
I'm intimidated.
Intimidating group of Italians who drink espresso, but you're not really. They're not the mob.
Like you cut them off in traffic, you disappear.
Kinda. I don't know how to explain it. You know what I mean? Kind of.
I don't know what a raccoon tail is.
It's like What's that movie back in the day? Not Little Giants. It would have been like an old movie back in the day where you ride your bicycle
Easy-
and
oh.
they got like a little like an antenna and the top's like a
Yeah.
little rabbit tail thing.
I got a bit of an idea.
Okay,
Yeah.
like an antenna.
Yeah, like a little antenna, but it's got a little tail on it.
Oh, yeah.
Little Giants, I think, had it. Anyways,
No,
Little Rascals.
I watch
Little
Easy. I
Rascals.
watch Easy Rider. Have you ever seen Easy Rider?
I don't think
Bunch
so.
of like hippies riding like hogs around the states. Big fat like banana seats, big back tires, hogs.
that's what you got.
I mean, it's a modern version of that. It's like
What does
it's
that
like
mean?
It's
like
big.
it's a big fat like kind of like cruiser.
Classic
Gotta sit a little
motorcycle.
lower.
Sit a little lower.
Cool.
It's not a sport bike.
Cool.
I used to like ride dirt bikes and shit. So like I'd say like my style is like have like a dirt bike, wheelies, like do fun shit like that, like hoon around, and then cruise out on like a big old fat
Who in around?
hoon.
Who? What the fuck is that?
You guys not like vehicle guys?
No. Whoon around?
Just like doing hood rat shit with my boys,
No, I know that. I know that.
Yeah.
stuff.
Heck yeah.
That I
Relate
can
to
relate
that?
to. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Anyway, I like, listen. The motorbike is a big source of contention with the old parents. That was like the final straw. When I'm making all these creative differences, jokes, talking with the rents, motorbikes, like tattoos was one thing, earrings was one thing, blonde hair was one thing. The motorbike, kill shot, dude.
Really?
Oh, dude, they wrote me a letter the other day. They
You
don't
just
like
got the motorcycle?
I got it. Yeah,
He
pretty
wrote
recently.
me a letter.
Yeah.
Really?
I mean, yeah, just I'm getting into I'm 29. I'm a grown ass man. I gotta let my hair fly in the wind. I had an itch. Needed to be scratchy. You guys,
Just scratch the itch.
I get it.
That's the only thing I didn't do. I wanted a motorcycle. I always wanted one through university and everything. My aunt is my mom's sister. She's like always give me a hard time. I always like joke. I would joke I was gonna get one. I always wanted like a what are they called? Like,
Crotch
what's the one of the
rocket.
great? No, no. What's the one like the Great Escape, like a Triumph, or whatever they're called? Like
like a cafe racer.
yeah, basically. That's what the one I always wanted. My aunt works like a paralegal or whatever, and she's a lot of like head trauma and all this stuff. So I was like freaked out, and I was joke. Shit, yeah, my bad.
Give me a shout.
Yeah. So anyways, I would like tell her I was gonna get one, but I actually wanted to get one, and she just kept saying no. Eventually, I kind of grew out of it.
Okay, she sees the crashes. So everyone that works in healthcare, they only see the bad. No one's in healthcare. No one drives into the hospital on a motorbike, being like, "Hey, it's been 30 years. Everything went great." Do you know what I'm
That's
saying? They
true.
come to the
That's
hospital in pieces, and she goes, "Oh, motorbikes are dangerous." Yeah, they're dangerous, but there's also so many people that don't die.
Yeah, that's true. That is
The
true.
majority, actually.
Yeah.
Cast it.
Cast it. Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna because I'm doing that one.
Yeah,
you know what I
yeah,
mean?
That's the only that energy out there.
Yeah, but maybe I could have casted like tell my parents, not tell my parents. I chose tell my parents. Got a letter. But yeah. Anyway,
My parents were saying tattoos. My mom didn't really care.
I like
My
your
dad
ass
was against-
tattoos.
Yeah, you guys got
Thank
some
you.
good ones. I was noticing.
Thank you.
I think
Appreciate it, boys.
we like I started my tattoo journey right before COVID.
Oh, you just started.
I just got tattoos across my ankles.
I saw a little peek in that one.
Yeah. So it's really like I didn't want it to be like my only thing because if you look into it too much, it's a little embarrassing.
What do you mean?
I was just thinking I would have like I'm not looking at your like one tattoo. Like if you had one tattoo, I'd be like, oh, what is that? Like super like focused. But because you have a bunch, I'm like, oh, it's just like kind of like a collage of like
Yeah,
nothing's like super one important. I got one with that in mind, and if you really like, I told you what did I tell you what it was? I says heartthrob across my ankles.
Heart and throb.
Yeah.
Cool.
He's got my name on his ankle.
His name's Rob. No, it's from Place Beyond the Pines, that Ryan Gosling movie. He plays a rad dirt biker, bank robber.
Yeah.
Obviously,
Yeah, I've
love
seen the
that
movie.
vibe.
Little tear tattoo.
Everything, man. It's
cool.
a knife.
Eva
It's a
Mendes.
knife. And across his neck, he's got heartthrob because it's Luke Robinson and the Heartthrobs. And I was like, sick. Like, start a tattoo across the ankles. Love the movie. Dirt bikes, obviously, all that shit. Heartthrob across my ankles. COVID shuts down tattoo places. It's been a little while.
So now I only have one tattoo.
I got one tattoo, and every time I'm on the dock, it's like completely pristine bod. And then it's a heartthrob across my ankles. And like people are like, oh, what's that? Everyone, oh, what's that tattoo? What does that say? Heartthrob. And I'm like,
You gotta explain the whole story.
it's
Like,
not
yeah.
literal. I'm literally a heartthrob. Just kind of like, Anyway, so
Yeah.
Who's got more between you two?
He does.
I actually have I don't know.
Are you decked
20
out under
20
that
something
shirt?
now. I
there?
have one. I have one on each chest.
Whip it out. No,
No, I got one here. I got a word here. I got one on the back of my neck here. I got in
What's on the
Thailand.
back of your neck?
The Sakyant tattoo in
Yeah,
Thailand.
yeah,
the Buddhist
yeah.
monk.
What's that? What's that?
Sakyant tattoo. It's like a stick and poke tattoo you get from like a Buddhist monk, and I got it in Thailand.
Yeah.
Hurt like a bitch.
Yeah.
The most painful tattoo I've ever gotten in my life. 30 minutes. It felt like 2 hours.
But is
So
it
you're
like
just like, you guys
better?
are
worth it?
In a
Is it
way?
like
It was just kind of cool. Listen, it's like a cliche. It's Sakyant tattoo. It's like you go to Thailand, you like pay a Buddhist monk like $100. You go with this guide, so you go to like a legit one, not some when you're gonna get some disease, and they do maybe.
that's what you're into.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
But anyways, they like I was in like the little fucking temple thing. There's like air conditioning blasting on me, and I was still sweating. Like it was the worst.
Yeah, you guys know Okie Dokie tattoo place?
That's the pirate, the traditional plate. Like they shoot.
Yeah, I always thought they should be Okie Dokie stick and pokey. Just a thought. I'll throw that out there, but
You got a lot of good
Stuff.
ideas coming out of this
Yeah,
episode. Hey,
honestly,
the Fly
I'm
Boys.
just throwing them into the ether, man.
Yeah. They're gonna have honesty. You're putting them out there. You're gonna
No, but I like your guys' vibe, and I liked like it's gonna be weird to say because we're only 2 years apart, but like my existential crisis was made a lot better by seeing you guys, because like at 29, man, like we were getting there right before COVID, and COVID kind of popped that balloon, and I had to restart like all that kind of momentum and ego and self-esteem or whatever, and just seeing that you guys kind of like started the podcast 2019, and like you guys are like early 30s now, 20 or 31, and just like cast was only in the last couple years, it kind of made me feel like in the next 2 years, if I did all that, I'd be psyched, and it could be done in 2 years, and it like kind of refired me, and like we came with like a lot of. That's why we came with like so much like, fuck yeah, because like I'm legitimately excited and impressed, and like I mean, we can't talk about it all on the podcast, but everything you said about like DMing people and like the whole vibe of like changing and everything you've done in like the last 2 years is like, that's all I want. I kind of just want to figure out what that is for me. I know it's going to be the podcast, it's going to be the band, but I also have to figure out income. Like I know you guys were probably working before.
yeah.
I don't know if you're still working, if this is full-time cast in the podcast, but just like juggling, like I still work in finance, man. Like I still like have a, like he works in customer service. Like we have to like still balance this, and like you got people breathing down your throat, like girlfriends, parents, kind of like, you're 29. I'm like, listen, Ricky and fucking George, 2 years. I got cast. I got the podcast.
I
like,
quit. I left my job as the VP of operations, and I was 31. Like
Not a
I had,
big
I
deal.
mean, you can always like people might say, and people say this to me, like, yeah, you might have a fallback. You can go back to your family business anytime. But the thing is, no offense, Dad, Mom, Yanni, I don't want to go back.
I ain't never coming back.
I just because I just want to do, and not that because I don't. Literally, the one thing I miss the most is working with my family. Like me, and my dad, and my brother are very similar, different but similar. We butt heads a lot, but we get along. Like when it comes to work, like we all have the same goal. We work together. Like it's the best. I'd go into the office every day, see my siblings. It was actually so much fun. I miss that the most.
Yeah.
But I also want to do something that's like that could theoretically change the world. And I'd rather fall flat on my face and do it with my best friends too. Like that, like I get to work with Rick, Dave, and even the team, my sister too. Now, like the whole company we have is amazing. I try to do like fun shit. I've said to him before, Cast is a social, it's a social media platform essentially. And sure, social media platforms have the potential to change the world and make a lot of money. But like honest to God, I don't say this to sound again humble or anything. Like I actually just don't care about the money. I want to be able to just do what I want, not have to report to anybody.
well, if it's
Like,
a good idea, it makes money. So if you have a good idea, it makes money.
Yeah, listen, it'd be great to make money and be able to retire at a young age, it's all that stuff. But like, I just want to be able to do what I want to do when I want to do it. I don't have to report to anybody. If I want to stop and maybe not work in casting and sit and read a book for a bit, I want to do that. But yeah, don't like the only advice I can give. We started this podcast to kind of talk about what we learned in our 30s. That was the main reason. Besides hanging out, that was the main reason. Let's like share some of the stuff the ups and downs that we learned. Mm-hmm. And honestly, like the biggest thing I realized is like, you're never too late to try something new. You should never be afraid to fail. Honestly, the worst thing you could do is never try, because you're going to be that old man at 40 and 50 and 60, but like, I was the best musician, or I was great at this, but I never, I didn't want to do it. And you're the one that's telling the stories at the campfire when like, you're the one that's like, I could have done this. You're the guy with the, you didn't play hockey. You tell everyone how great of a hockey player you were and you gave it up because of this reason or that reason.
I want to be interesting when I'm older.
Honestly.
And like genuinely, I don't want to be like the old guy that's like telling those old stories.
Yeah, because you did relive the same stories and all that stuff. I'd rather be at the campfire telling my grandkids that I did all these 10 businesses and they all fucking failed.
No,
but
they'll
I learned
be asking
something.
you about it.
But yeah, I learned something here and here and here, and I can tell you something to do, and don't make the mistakes I did, or do what I did because it's happened. But the thing is, if you don't try when you sit around and tell the same story over and over.
I've got a good one here too, and I always said this, a couple things. One, like, shoot your shot no matter what you do. Like, if you don't ask, the answer is always no. But anything you're gonna do it 100%. And like, we've done this park stuff, and like, we're all in on cast. We go to the park, and I know there's people, like, I've heard friends of friends or like other people I know be like, not talk shit, but like, these guys are like, what the fuck are they doing? Like, you guys are fucking out the
What?
park. And, you know, like, what the fuck is wrong? Like, I've heard that. I'm like, when people talk about me behind my back, whether they say good things or bad things, I was like, I'm that fucking sick. Where you're literally wasting your breath, your life, talking about me. I'm like, I'm doing something right. I'm like, I don't give a fuck. If you talk shit about me, cool, great. You're talking about me when I have no idea who you are and you're so irrelevant in my life. It's like there's that like meme or Instagram post that goes around where it's like, lions don't lose sleep over the opinion of sheep, and it's fucking true, man. Like, yeah, maybe Cass doesn't fucking change the world. Maybe it doesn't take off, and maybe we don't make fucking billions of dollars and hundreds of millions of dollars. Maybe it doesn't. But at the end of it, I know no matter what, I gave it our all. We gave it our all. Our whole team gave it our all. We became better people. We became better businessmen. We became just better friends, and we've done something that majority of people will never even come close to doing. So it's like, when you do that and you put everything you have into it, like, no matter what happens, man, I sleep like a fucking baby at night. Every fucking night. Yeah. I sleep because I know every morning I wake up, I give it 100%.
Shit in my pants, but
no, I've never, man. It's like, fuck, go in, do it, and just grind it out, work as hard as you fucking can. Like, I love the gym. Gym's like my fucking bread and butter. Like, I go 7 days a week. Lately, I haven't been going just because I don't have the time. Just between work, cast, podcast, blah, 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 whatever it may be. And it's like, we're out at the parks like 6 hours a day. And it's hot. And some days you get caught in the rain. And we got to lug these wagons up these tiny-ass steep stairs around the corner. And some days you're like, this is fucking hell. And then you open the app and you see like 100 new users on it, like fucking asking random questions, shit like that. And you're like, this is exactly why we're doing what we're doing. There's an election coming up. We're going to fucking predict the election.
Okay, don't reveal too much yet.
Sorry, secret. Can I ask quickly, at the park, like, what are you actually doing? You're interacting with people, you're handing out stuff. But
yeah, so what we do is, like, when we first started promoting the app, we were doing a lot of like digital ads, and like, we don't have a big marketing budget. Obviously, we're a freaking tech startup, and like a local one, self-funded. And when you see an ad for social voting, you're like, okay, cool. Like, I can vote on Instagram, I can vote on Twitter. Why is this better? And then you're gone. Boom. Your 3 seconds that we had to capture your attention is gone. When I go to the park and we've got these sick ass bucket hats or these sick Viper glasses, we're gonna deck you guys out in some casket after, don't worry. And it's like, hey, you know, we're a social voting app. Ricky, George, you introduce yourself. They put a name to a face. Sorry, face to a name. And then we say, hey, you know, if you download an app, create a profile, answer a couple questions, we'll give you some merch. We'll give you some hats, glasses, water, beer, whatever it may be. And they're like, oh, yeah, sure, sounds good. Like, what is it? Well, then I know I've got your attention for about like 3 to 5 minutes now. 3 to 5 minutes, me, him, Dave, anybody in our team can convince you why this is a sick app.
Yeah.
Sorry, not everybody, but like 19 out of 20 people we can convince why. It's like they jump on. Once they get on, we know they love it. Everyone keeps coming back. So that's the thing. Like, we go to the park, we literally carry this sign with these wagons, and we just go around. It says like free. We have no freezies, water, whatever.
And you found it to be fairly successful.
It's our best days. Our best days are when we do the parks.
Yeah, people are very friendly, and we've actually met. Like, we've bumped into investors, we bumped into venture capitalists, we bumped into like other tech founders,
super users.
So yeah, we just bump into people. Like, like Toronto's got a big, like, there's a lot of good people, a lot of people that work hard, just doing different cool things, interesting things. And like, you would probably never meet any of these people otherwise. Like, because you know how many times you go to the bar and actually like talk to them. You meet the most people you meet in your life, you're gonna meet at university, college, or like through friends of friends. You're not just gonna go make friends with random people on the street. Doing this allows us to meet new people, make new connections, new opportunities that we otherwise wouldn't have. We get feedback. We get to test our app out. We get to see what happens when we push a new update. We get to see it live. So it's been the most effective thing. I mean, but to the point too, like, we found this is our most effective. But at one point we were going around downtown, Ricky and I, holding a sign that literally just said free on it. And we were giving out $5 to anybody willing to use the app.
And give us feedback,
To give us feedback. We would like we'd go in like to explain how like discouraging at times it can be, but how like shameless we are. Ricky mostly, but like how shameless we are. We carried a sign we had a stack. We had a like fanny pack full of $5 bills. I think we had like $500 worth or something. And we would literally go like to find lines on Queen Street, people waiting in line to go in a store. Free money. We'd walk up and be like, hey guys, like, we're a tech startup. We'll give you $5. All you have to do is just not even like just download the app, but just sign in. We just wanted to test out our new sign up like flow because we wanted to make sure it worked. People would look at us like we're crazy. Some days like, no, we're good. I'm like,
You're good?
I went to the line. No, I'm not saying this to be rude to anybody. I'm not saying people who like ride the bus need $5, but we were at Yonge and Dundas Square, the capital of crazies in Toronto, more or less. And we stood, but went to the bus line. We saw a group of people like, "Hey guys, like this is what we're doing. We'll give you $5. Like, that's it. Just download the app."
And we showed the cab.
And I'm like, "I'll even
You were just waving a 5, and they're like,
I was like, "I'll even hotspot you. Don't even use your data. I'll hotspot you. That's it." And we're like, "No, like we're good." I was like,
everyone thinks it's a scam.
"Yeah," but like the thing is, we're willing to do like honestly whatever it takes. And you know, like, when I first started this, I'm like, and I thought that I'm like, man, I'm 31 years old. I'm like, I'm going around like making TikToks, fucking walking around soliciting downloads. But I was like, honestly, I am way happier than I've ever been doing what I'm doing. I'm like just walking around the fucking city with my boy, like just asking people to use our app, and people then get on it and they're like, "Oh, this is amazing."
Were you like that prior to him though? Because
When we first met,
That's the R factor, baby.
I got the R factor
That's
from
the R
Rick.
factor.
It's now the G factor though, because
you
I'm
developed your own
I'm George. I'm not Ricky. I'm George.
we tried something similar like that when we first. Were you gonna talk about this with the podcast?
Oh, I forgot about that.
And we wanted to do something. We were thinking of ideas of how we could push our comfort zone, and we had this idea that we're gonna go up. Like pick some random spot in the city and just start going up to people and start talking about our podcast and try and get people to listen to it. And we were gonna film it.
We
and
filmed it guerrilla
record
style,
it,
like from a distance, camcorder.
So we chose the Ryerson steps on Yonge Street there.
We went there.
Yeah, and we went over there for an
Terrifying,
afternoon,
man.
and it was so terrifying. We had these cards printed out and stuff about our podcast, and so one of us would be filming, and the other one would have like the headset in.
This
to
guy
record.
sucked at it, man. The
I was
first
so
few,
brutal.
That's like our
Yeah.
buddy
Oh,
DB.
that's
He's
like,
not yet.
yeah,
No,
that's
he's
like
not
deep, but
that
I would
bad.
be scared too. That's fucking.
dude, this guy flat rejected. Like just so many people in a row.
Yeah, Trav was like, okay, I'll start us off first or whatever. He goes in, he hits a couple groups, people are receptive to it. It's my turn to go, and I just keep getting turned away. I'm like, fuck. I was already so nervous to do this. And also,
So when I went to get my second vaccine, I was
this
in
is fucking crazy.
So I'm in a line, right? Massive line, vaccine. This is like 2 months ago when it's like the vaccines are still like going hot off the market. So I'm in this massive line in a hallway of a school. Like picture the hallway's like the width of this room. So it's going down one way like this and goes and then wraps around, comes down the other side. And I'm looking, I'm like, I've got like 300 people in this fucking hallway. I got a loud ass voice. I literally took down my mask. I was
You're a
like,
freak.
"Hi guys, my name's Ricky." I'm
You
You're
typed it up.
a freak.
Oh yeah, I
'Cause
kept
you
my
don't
mask
wanna-
up.
'cause you were
Yeah,
hanging
and I
it up.
literally yelled, and I was like, started an app. It's called Cast. Love for you guys to check it out.
He's
We all.
recording
What do you
himself.
feel when you're doing this? Like, what's the sensation right before you do that?
I very, very rarely get nervous in situations like that. I get nervous in other situations. Definitely not like talking to people does not make me nervous, even in the
performance
slightest.
anxiety.
Yeah.
I got you.
How do you know that, George?
I've heard stories, buddy.
Nah, yeah.
People have told me.
Yeah, for sure.
I've heard that too, actually. But
Hey, it's part of the R factor, guys.
Common knowledge. No, I'm kidding. Go on.
No, but I literally like screamed it in this hallway, and we ended up getting like 10 downloads or something, which at the time
I
was like
love
a
that.
good amount for us. And it literally cost us $0. My heart was fucking pounding.
and you
But
still
after-
back in the line,
And then after that, I
You just stood there.
and the person in front of you behind you are probably frozen. You know how
No,
terrifying
but
that'd
they're
be
on
to
their
me.
phone.
anyone heckle?
No.
What if they
So, a
did?
couple people
Wow.
clapped at the end of it,
Wow.
but like it was awkward because only like 2 or 3 people clapped, not the whole fucking lineup. So I was like,
So, okay, if you ask me a list of the things I'd want to do the least, walk through Trinity Bellwoods with a cart and ask people to do something. Stand in front of a lineup of 300 people and ask them to like look at my shit. Send DMs to people that I would annoy. It's like these are things that are built into me for some reason. Do you change it like when you're developing the G factor, not to be confused with the G spot?
Yeah.
little he doesn't know where that is either.
Yeah. I still
You need Ricky to help you find that
still
one,
figuring
too.
that one out. The G factor I got figured out. The other one I'm still trying
When you're
to learn.
developing this G factor and he's doing this shit, are you with him like right away because he's got that confidence? Are you?
Oh no. Like the first time. So like, don't get me wrong. For sure, his confidence level is like here. I would say that I'm probably like, depends on the circumstance, but slightly lower. But the first time we pitch, like, depends the circumstance. When it comes to anything related to like business, let's say, like when it comes to the cast, I'll stand in an auditorium with 20,000 people and sell the pitch. The one thing that I personally have always felt that I was put like on this earth to do is I'm always been entrepreneurial. So when it's funny because I was very much like that when I was young. Then I went through this wave of like not so much. I guess it was kind of like an identity crisis when I was in the middle ages. I got a little more like timid. But like I used to go when I was like 5. I'd go door to door with a shovel, knock on doors, and ask people to shovel the drive for $20. And I used to make a killing. I'd have a lemonade stand every summer. My mom told me this story and I forgot about it. One summer, my family was gone. I was home alone. I was like 10. I went to the basement, stole my sister's brother's toys, drew a sign like busted like that, garage sale. Made like $50 selling their toys. But
parents come back and say, $500 worth of toys.
I guess where it's going now is like when we go pitch and stuff, like we all take turns. Dave does too. Dave's actually come out of his shell a lot too doing it.
Shout out Dave, man.
Yeah, shout out Dave.
Dave didn't want a piece of the podcast.
We kind of started. We were
Dave
together,
not a podcast guy. You know?
He's come on. He comes on every now and then.
Yeah.
But
everyone wants a piece
when
of
it comes
podcast,
to like going around now, like DMing and stuff, like
Hardest one in Toronto.
Absolutely.
Okay, if I'm supposed to be somewhere like a pitch, not scared. If I'm supposed to be somewhere like in front of an audience, could be 20,000 people, I can do that show. If I'm supposed to be in the conversation on a phone call, it's fine. Cold calling someone I'm not supposed to call, talking to someone who's not expecting it, that's where a flip switches, and I become like my confidence level goes from rockstar to like if I had like a birthmark across my whole face.
So now let me ask you, what's the difference?
The fact that I'm not
in your
supposed
mind,
to be
you're
that.
supposed to be there. In your mind, when you make that cold call, they want what you have.
I don't think that though.
But that's what you need to change.
How do we do this, Ricky?
Who cares what they say?
It's the T factor.
Listen, look, Rick's always told me this. Okay, there's two things. The one thing he always told me is if you don't ask, the answer is always no.
Yeah,
That's honestly one of the best things that I ever heard him say, because he says a lot of stupid shit. That's the best thing I ever heard. No, he says a lot of good shit. That is the best thing I ever heard, because I thought about it. I'm like, think about it. Any circumstance. Think about it. You want to like get your demo to a manager. You want to talk to that girl at the bar. You want to get raise money. You want to get that promotion. If you don't ask, they're not gonna know that you want it or that you need it, or they don't know what you have. So at the end of the day, like even with Cast, like. We're not in Silicon Valley. We're not in these places. But, like, we go out and act like we're the next big startup, because at the end of the day, like, you believe you're going to work hard to get there. And then you're going to open doors that you never otherwise wouldn't have. So, let's say, for example, we didn't go out in the park and talk to people this past weekend. I was hungover, too, both. I was miserable. We went out. We got fucking 300. Like, this week, we've had, like, 300 news or something. So, if we didn't do that, when I got those downloads, and we got them like a bottle of water and whatever the other beverage we hand out are like $1 each. We could post ads on social networks. The ads we put on, they don't convert as well. No. So we save money doing that. Keeps our runway going longer. We talk to people who wouldn't have. We bumped into a girl who is a VC in Silicon Valley. Was in Toronto. Think about the odds of that happening. A random group of people. We bumped into them at near the end on Sunday. 3 of them work in tech companies. One works at Apple. One works at Google. One works at somewhere else. So we pitched them. They're like, "Oh, sick!" They're like, we talking to them like, "Oh, great work! Like you're doing, it's very cool. Whatever, we'll download it. We'll use it." I was like, "Yeah." When you go back to San Francisco, tell your friends. It'd be great. Like that's the mecca of tech. The one girl who was not really like talking a lot, I was like, "Well, what do you do?" And she's like, "Oh, I'm a VC. I work for this office, whatever." I was like, "Oh, no shit." And I just told her that we reached out to some VCs recently. We cold emailed them, so we didn't even have an intro. We cold emailed them to ask for their money. And she's like, "Oh, great! Like I know them. Send me an email Monday too, and like we'll exchange, and I'll see if I can work with them. Whatever." Think about that. Just by one, for us sending cold emails the last Monday, and 2 talking to her at the park, we now somehow have a connection that we otherwise wouldn't have had. And if we didn't talk, like worst case, we go up to her, she says, "Oh, fuck you! I don't like your app." Cool. Thanks.
A couple people have.
It's happened before.
There's the odd group that says,
and
"No,
actually,
thank you."
we've actually gotten better where we actually, if someone says no to us, we go after that person to convert them. Like the rest is easy. The free shit, anyone will download it. The person who says no to me is the one they want to convert. It happened twice this weekend.
Yep.
There was one girl in a group, was like 2 people actually the same thing. We're like, yeah, people aren't sharing their opinions. They're like 2 girls almost separate times the same thing. I feel like everyone just shares their opinion. I was like, well, actually, statistically speaking, like they don't. Like we know this. Well, I feel like they do. I'm like, well, that's great. I'm just telling you, and our reality and the actual facts is that they don't. So that's the problem we're trying to solve. Oh, why can't they just go on this? And we just kept like hammering her points, because it also makes our pitch better. Because when a VC comes at us as A, B, C, D, we're like, oh, that girl at the park quizzed me too, and I know this, so now I'm going to kill it. So that's a long
kind of like
way
that
of saying.
Slumdog Millionaire story, right? When we go to pitch in front of VCs and get our fucking, whatever, 100 million rupees, whatever they get in Slumdog Millionaire. Yeah, we're gonna remember that story from the park.
I'm already crafting both your TED Talks, or like your like that one with you selling shit in the driveways. That's got to be in there. That's like some 1-800 got junk shit right there.
Absolutely. I was destined to this. But no, to the point. But like, you just honestly, and I was the same way. I was always terrified. I was so scared to talk to
I'm
people.
terrified, man.
But you can't, because what are they gonna think? The worst thing is they think, like, they're not gonna remember you. There's so much going on in their life that they're gonna be like, oh, what a loser! Like, he reached out to me. They forgot about it 10 minutes after you talked to them, because they got so much going on. They have more problems in their life. So like, they're not gonna remember you more than likely either way. If they say yes, great, you got what you needed. If they say no, you can be like, okay, no problem. Anything I can do better or whatever. And you can ask for some advice or something. And if not, fuck it. Doesn't matter.
I almost want to come with you guys
So-
to the park one time, because I
That's
know
why I
I'd
had
be
you August
terrified.
28th.
Anytime.
I'd be
Next
terrified
weekend.
to do it, and I just want to get better at.
Man,
We're gonna
next
make y'all
weekend.
you guys taking the pitch.
Dude, send him in there.
Come,
Watch him eat shit the first 5 times. He always gets
Listen.
it, but the first 5 times.
So when I was maybe around, I don't know, maybe 16, 17, I read the book The Game. You guys remember that? Neil Strauss?
The pickup
girls.
artist
Yeah,
one.
yeah,
Yeah.
So I read that,
yeah,
and
yeah.
again, this is like, he was not a good-looking dude, like, had no game, just he wanted to fucking get with women. And it's like, I hate that I'm saying this, because this is kind of very controversial, but like, anything you do in life, like when you're trying to make a sale, getting a girl is like making a sale. It is. It's essentially everything you do in life
No,
is
it's not.
making a sale.
Essentially, you're convincing someone
Yeah.
to want
that
what you have. Yeah.
Exactly. So this is what I want you to do, and anybody listening, the next time you go grocery shopping, when you get to pay your bill at the end of the grocery shop, you get to the cashier, smile and ask if they have if they can give you a discount on anything. Like 9 times out of 10, you'll fucking get something.
You do that?
Yeah. I ask for when I
Anytime-
travel. I say I ask for
anytime-
any upgrade that works. Like
Anytime
9 out
I
of 10
go
times.
anywhere or buy anything, I just ask, hey, do you guys have any discounts today? Smile, walk up, hey, how you doing?
Yeah.
How's your day? Perfect, how's yours? Great. You guys have any discounts today? Just curious.
I mean,
Hey,
I ask
great.
what the
Do you
beer
have- hey-
specials are
Yeah.
when I
Hey,
go to the
you
bar.
knew better on this price. Like, you ask for like pricing on like merch. Hey, can you do anything better? Like a little bit better.
Just
If I- when I
I'm
buy
locked
something-
in right now. By the way, I'm like,
when I buy something, I'll DM the brand on Instagram. Like, hey, you guys got any like promo codes? Hey, what's up? Love your brand.
Really?
Give
This
him
is,
a
why,
compliment.
this is why he manages the money more than I do, because he's great. He's very smart
Man,
with the
just
money.
ask.
I spend. I'm like,
What is
yeah,
the-
fucking,
so
I'll
you gotta
pay
think
it.
about that. What's the worst case scenario?
And what's some of the
Are
best?
they gonna kick you out? No. You're still
Yeah.
buying something. And the best case scenario, they're like, oh, actually, yeah, you can have that free
Travis's
upgrade.
mind is he's like fucking. He's like,
Man, you
No,
gotta
I
do
hate
you know
that.
what he
because
looks like
like
right now? You know the Hangover?
That's
A
crazy.
fucking when he's like in
Yeah,
the
yeah.
casino, all the numbers are going. Rain Man.
You know,
Man,
it always sucks to hear though, because it's the same reason why, like, I know like where we're at is exactly a result of what we've done, and it's always a simple answer. It always is a simple answer.
Just fucking
And
ask.
I bang my head up against that all the time because I'm a pussy, right? Like, we just gotta do it, dude.
What's some of the stuff that you got from just asking like that?
Oh, but you don't even want to
I've
know.
gotten upgraded to
You
like.
don't even
I've
want to know
gotten
some shit.
upgraded.
I get way too much shit that I don't deserve.
I got happy
because I've
endings.
asked.
I got no.
honestly a lot of like free like, man, like free apparel, free fucking.
That cooler.
No, you-
When I left, so I was working at SDI Marketing. I just asked, can I keep it? And they were like, oh, you're supposed to return it back. I was like, well, I never did. They're like, okay, you can just keep it.
Dude,
Most-
we gotta
just
Squeaky
honestly,
wheel gets the
implement
grease,
so much
man.
of this. Yeah.
Guys, you just honestly like, at the end of the
Oh,
day,
our Viper glasses and our bucket hats. We bought them. We were ordering more to get a discount. You have to buy 5,000. I was like, hey, since I'm buying 1,000, not 100, can I get a discount? She's like, yeah, we're gonna save like 20 cents per thing. Our ad reads on Barstool for the for cast.
Can we say that? I'm not gonna listen to this.
Yeah,
Oh,
I asked. Like, hey, do you guys have any discounts? They're like, yeah. Oh, it's actually a 2-for-1 special this month. I was like, sick.
On ad reads?
Yeah,
If we'd asked, they wouldn't have told us, right?
save $500 or something.
See, Robbie asked one time for something, and it really backfired, and I think about it all the time.
What did I ask
So
for?
I mean, so we tried this once. You know, we get burnt. No, I'm just joking. Everything you're saying is right, but
Man.
Robbie, one time we're trying to get another job playing music at a restaurant,
Oh,
like Tony
fuck.
style. So
Tell this story.
Earl's answers the bell. We got a friend that works there, and they go, "We have live music. Hook you up with the person who manages it. Reach out to her." And she's like, "Yeah, we'd love to have you on. What's your rate?" Robbie's handling this right now. Robbie is I've been entrepreneur for a while. Robbie's just getting into it with the music stuff. So like I'm like, why don't you take this? Why don't you field this one, Papa? And so he's like, okay. So he's dealing with her, and she's like, yeah, we'd love to have you guys. What's your rate? And I like this energy because he pulls a RNG factor, and he's like, let's go high. Let's just go high. I'm like, I don't know, man. You know, because he's like, what'd you say, like 450
Yeah, somewhere in that ballpark.
for a night's work? And
Which isn't
I'm like,
absurd.
I wouldn't do it. Again, I'm a coward. And I was like, but you hit that. All right. So he goes like 450, and she's like, okay. And we're like, it works.
I was expecting her to negotiate.
No, she
I
didn't
would have
negotiate.
taken less. She didn't negotiate at all, though.
So-
She's like, sure.
Yeah, so obviously this guy gets a little taste of that factor. And so we asked for that, and she's like, great, we'll book you on this night. Robbie doesn't have a chance to get back to her before she cancels on us. She goes, oh shit, like the next morning, she goes, there's a hockey game that night. We can't do that night.
It was like a Leafs playoff game or
Leafs
something.
playoff game, but
yeah.
there was enough time that he canceled something he had that night, like he had a bartending shift or whatever, and he canceled it. And so the next morning he sees the email, and instead of consulting me, he gives his dad a shout. And his dad's like, oh, well, they cancel on you. You should get a cancellation fee. Right? His dad didn't know the whole story. Robbie didn't pitch him that. Like we hadn't even confirmed yet. There was no prior arrangement. There's nothing.
It was confirmed.
It was
confirmed.
not. We
We canceled other work for it, you know.
So he goes, oh, that's great. No problem. How about a cancellation fee? Gassed. No response. Did she hit us with like a no or like
No, it was just radio silence.
radio silence? So I'm rattled because we had that 450. I'm like, no, you don't ask for a cancellation fee. Like we can get that in the future. Like, that 450 could have been forever. Yeah. You don't need $150 for the cancellation fee.
I was given some advice that musicians need to advocate for themselves.
Not
and,
them.
You know, this is a business, and you need to operate in a certain way.
You're not
and
wrong,
right?
but at the, in the
Maybe
moment,
wait till you're a little
Even
bit
the
older.
R factor
in
is
the
saying
moment,
wait on that
I think
one.
it depends on the context. Like if she did it, like you guys are booked, and then it was like, oh, you know what? Never mind. We found someone else for cheaper. You'd be like, okay, no problem. You cancel me, I cancel my work. It's fine. I think if it's like, oh, no problem. You got a date like next week that we can come in.
It was like 2 days from then. It was like we got
No,
it.
it was the day of.
The day of. So we got it like the night before, then we lost it the next morning.
Yeah.
And
I would say, if you don't ask, the answer is always no. So that doesn't apply. Like
the answer was no.
not no, but at least you know it was a no.
But it was a no
Yeah.
forever no. So
Yeah.
No, well,
Learned a bit of a lesson, but
So
whatever.
guys,
no,
it's
because
never up
she
for
might
them.
not be there anymore. Go back and ask.
let's
This
hit
was
them
a
up.
while ago.
This was a while ago
yeah.
because I sent them in. I was like, dude, you got to apologize. We got to we got to get back in there. I'm so sorry. Like my partner, he's new to this, blah, blah, blah. Apology. Nothing. Our friends at work, they were like, get this girl back on our team. We need that 450 like coming in. Like that was another one of those. I was counting that 450 every 2 weeks,
You already went and bought something with the 450.
Yeah, so now I have this
anticipating it.
vision like we're going to go to the park and like we're going to tell someone like, oh, stream our music, and then the next person is just going to punch me in the stomach or something.
Oh,
You
do you
know?
know how many bands play at Trinity Bellwoods? Like just pick up and play. Like some guys are decent.
Yeah.
Like they just start playing in the park. I actually saw one guy on his bike. One guy was actually really good, and also my favorite thing to watch is live music. Like in a bar or in a park, the fucking best.
Anyway, like we got to take that from you guys. Like
Man,
we're gonna
come with us. We go to the park every Saturday, Sunday. So if you guys want to come, this Saturday, Sunday, we'll be there. Next
First
Saturday,
episode
Sunday,
back
we'll be-
broke 2 hours. That's crazy.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
This is a long one.
No, I love
we
it.
usually go like an hour.
I can go forever.
Yeah, same. This has been a lot of fun, but it's also like, what time is it? 10? Is it 10?
Okay, we'll
Danielle, we can wrap it up. As a listener, were you just sitting there the whole time? Did that feel like 2 hours? Was that kind of like a
always flies
flyby?
by so
Yeah.
quick.
What the fuck
No,
happened?
this one was really fun. This was actually a lot of fun.
I laughed.
And I feel
a
there's still
lot.
so much we didn't talk about.
We didn't even talk about all the funny shit.
Yeah, well, guys, we're gonna do this
We'll
again.
do this
for sure.
again.
Have to.
100%.
That being said,
But yeah, don't be fucking scared to ask, guys. Like you're not gonna.
guys come
No
with
one
us.
else is gonna ask for
You guys
you.
will pitch
I'd love
cast
to.
for us. I'll give you like the
100%.
30-second pitch, and then you guys.
I'm like, hi, my name's
might get-
Ricky.
we might
I
get-
mean, sorry. My name's Cass.
Also, you want to know about what the energy, where the energy has gotten to this point, like
Yeah.
from back in the day. So, we have a company. It's called RG Ventures. That's that RG energy. You know what it stands for? Really good ventures. And you got to carry that mindset everywhere
I
you
thought
go.
it stood for really Jean B. DJ.
You mi-
Really?
mixed
Oh,
up
We've been linking up on these jokes all night.
no.
you mixed
really-
up John B and Gvon.
You like that though, eh? Really good ventures. Because at the end of the day, you have to believe they're really good.
I fucking love it. I'm like a genuine. I need whatever you guys have because it's the X factor that's missing from our success. We got good music. We got a good podcast. We got good vibes. We don't do that thing that you guys do.
Just go home tonight, get your phone out, and fucking send your last episode to their whole fucking Instagram and say, hey, listen to my episode. 10 people click on it, big deal.
Actually, I got one last story before we wrap up. You want to know how we got Donovan Bailey on the
Yeah.
podcast? I sent Donovan Bailey a DM basically every other week for about 6 months. And I would just send him one, I'd erase it, send him one, erase it, send him one, erase it for about 6 months. And then one time someone on his team responded. And they're like, yeah, that sounds great. Send us an email. I was like, Oh shit.
Wait, why was Donovan?
Yeah, why
Bailey,
Donovan Bailey,
like, your
though?
Because
first
when we
target?
started the podcast, I was like Mike Weir, which
Lefty golfer.
No.
You lefty?
yeah, I'm lefty, and plus
Oh, yeah.
he fucking won the Masters, which is fucking dope.
Rick's still trying to get Mike Weir to this day.
And I
a
almost
year
had
and a
Mike
half
Weir.
later.
I almost had Mike
Are you
Weir.
still DMing him weekly?
So he was coming from DM, but then eventually I was like, you know what, I got to go through his charity. Long story. Got his PR's person.
Think about
got in
that.
contact.
Think about how
I
to
kind of
finesse that.
insulted him because I was like, oh, we could talk about what Mike's done since he's finished golfing. Turns out Mike is still golfing. Didn't know that.
Who knew?
That's the
But
story.
wait,
Ask him
you
about
wanna know the best
cancellation.
part? You want to know the best part? I was like, oh, my bad. Let's still get him on. He R-bombed me. 2
Yeah.
months later, hit up the fucking charity again. I was like, look, I'll give a donation. Didn't even say the amount. They were like, yeah, you got to talk to the PR person. Loop me into the email. Spoke to the PR person. The guy said yes. Dude got fired like 2 weeks later.
But we're not giving up.
So what is
Even
though
that?
we don't
care.
So it was Donovan Bailey, Mike Weir, and Wayne Gretzky. Obviously, Wayne
But who was the first guest we ever had? 5th episode, Eric Radford or
Eric
something?
Radford.
Gold medal
Who's that?
Olympic figure skater.
Yeah.
Like literally one shot. Hey, you want to come on a podcast? Sure. What's the address? People
are receptive.
People are nice.
And
And
these
if,
people
and if they say no, they're probably listen. If people ignore you and don't like, not that they have to give you what you want, but if they don't give you the courtesy, they're probably assholes anyways. You probably don't want to hang out with them. Like, and honestly, it's not a joke. Anybody who messages me on LinkedIn sends me an email gets a response. I don't have that many people messaging me. Like, I'm not a celebrity, but like, just I'll be like, you know what? Thanks, not interested. I'll just give someone the courtesy because I hope that that's gonna facilitate good karma come back our way. And honestly, like we cold email for cast for Pause Podcast, and like most people ignore it, but a lot of people say, you know what? Thanks, not interested, or thanks, busy right now, or thanks, reach back out to us. But the thing is, once they give you even that second of time, now you have an intro where you can reply, send an email, and it's gonna go to their inbox, or they're gonna see it in their messages, and you have that connection there. That's
Like
it.
we even then once you get one, you can start the snowball effect. Like we almost had Bianca Andreescu, like arguably
Who's
one
that?
of the greatest female Canadian tennis player. Like
Oh no, I'm just I have hit my head a lot. Like I'm just like like
man, that's why it's like
It's a
just
me
fucking
thing.
Ask. Like man, you gotta see the day we launched Cast, I probably sent out like I don't know, legit 500 messages that day.
If I have someone, my whole Instagram list, I have 1,600 people that follow me. Every single one has gotten a message at least twice about downloading Cast, and some probably unfollowed me.
about the
Don't give a shit.
podcast too. Like, do you treat everything like this, or is there a
No,
hierarchy?
Cast gets it more aggressive because the ROI is much higher. The stakes are much higher. Like the
Yeah.
podcast we want to, and we do push it every now and then. We'll post it.
Now
But
that's
like,
why we have Danielle now to help us
yeah.
with this.
But if they DM someone like, hey, like listen to the podcast, it's like that's like they need like a good hour, 2 hours to listen to it. Whereas like if we send them Cast is kind of universally for everyone. Like this episode, I think everyone would find hilarious. But like some might not be for some people. We might have some people like our
Some people don't listen to podcasts.
yeah. So Cast gets a lot more attention these days. That's why the podcast has been a little bit like a little slower. Like we haven't been like shooting our shot as much because we honestly just thought like
You're using your shots on Cast.
No, but in all fairness, we have been actually lately. Danielle's got 3 pretty big guests that she's gonna book soon.
and you guys are our first guest back in the
Yeah,
studio
first
after a
guest
3-week
back in the
hiatus. Well, a 4-week
Stoked
hiatus,
about it.
honestly.
It's an absolute honor.
It's been 4 weeks. I was gone for 3, and we recorded like a little before, so it's been 4 weeks we've been here.
Well, I mean, like I'm dead serious about. I know you guys. We can wrap it up. Fuck, I always do this, but like the if you guys are interested in like that podcast network idea, but like legitimately, I do want to go out and kind of like try some of these things. Come with you guys to the park.
Anytime.
I mean, if it's with people, I'll do anything if it's with people. The fact that you guys do it alone makes you freaks. But no,
It's
I'm just okay.
it's funny watching Ricky doing that. 'Cause, like we both like because we pitch this thing so much. Me and him, like Dave does well, but we talk about it a lot in different circumstances. So if we listen to each other, we know we sound the same. If you hear us like once, you wouldn't like you'd be like, oh, this is off the cuff. But it's pretty much the same things you're gonna say, the same
Yeah.
words, whatever. Rick has now gotten it down the same like motions he does to people,
Like
And it's
finger guns followed
Yeah,
by a
it's
wink.
really
the same
it's-
like fake joke I say. Every
It's
single time.
funny to watch because like I'm
What's
just
the
sitting there,
joke?
okay, here we go. Ready? She's gonna say, ask this, and he's gonna go, boom, and I was like, oh, there it is. Like you time it, but it's funny. Like you know what? It gets you fired up, and it's
Well, then sometimes we make eye contact too, and then like he'll say my joke to a group of people, and then we'll look at each other and laugh. Like, he did it earlier today.
Yo, what's gas? I'm like, funny you asked. That's Rick
No,
goes.
come on.
Rick's joke is so someone like we'll go up to them. Can I tell you your little spiel? So we go. This is the last we're gonna end it on this. So
Yeah,
everyone
yeah,
knows.
sorry,
All
it's my bad.
We go. That's okay. We go with the cart. We're like, hey, this is Rick's though. Mine's a little different. Rick goes, hey guys, I'm Rick. He like claps and everything, all like jazzed up, big energy,
smile,
big
big
R factor energy. We're a local tech startup. local tech startup. We just launched our new app. Whatever. We're going around the park today. See if people want to download it, try it. We want to give either free beverages or glasses or a bucket hat if you want to use the app. It takes 2 minutes to download. Like, we'd really appreciate it. Most people are like, yeah, sick, sure. And then once they said that, Rick's like, oh, and this is the part where you ask, what's cast? Every time he does it, and it gets everybody. And they're like, oh, what's cast? And then we're in, and we just start talking to them. And then
Like, it is a fucking 100 of 100. I'm like fucking MJ from the free throw line.
He
fucking
done it
with
to
this
every
joke.
group, and like usually it's the girls that laugh more because he's Ricky, and like girls are like, oh, ha, Rick, tell us what it is.
Like 100.
But it works like
I mean, I feel like a few guys might hit you back with that kind of energy too.
It
Yeah,
does
yeah,
happen.
yeah.
It does happen.
You know what I'm saying?
And then
Love that.
George's was the medical.
I have.
He goes right for like mom-aged people.
No,
No,
Well,
mine's
okay.
more for the I
VCs,
pitch. I
for the
do more the
VCs.
business side of things. So when I pitch to like investors, venture capitalists, whatever, I know our deck so well. I could read it with my eyes shut. I can like say it with my eyes shut. And I have these like little like quips that I use, and I'm like, oh, you know, we dangle this little metaphorical carrot in front of the thing, and I've said it so many times that and honestly, he doesn't even roll his eyes on the pitch. It was just like shocking because I have the shorter temperament of the two of us. If I hear it, I'd be like, oh, okay, fuck off, like we get it, But I've said the same things over and over. He just sits there and listens to them every time. The difference is like with an investor, I go through almost the whole deck. He answers some questions. So when we're in the park, if I don't want to listen, I'll just walk off to somewhere else. Whereas Rick got to sit through every pitch I did, like 40 pitches.
And even with the park, it's come to the point where it's like once we've got them in, and like I know they're in, like they're down.
It's
I'm like,
hard
hey,
to-
I'm like George, DB, you guys say boom, I'm off to the next one. I'm like, we need to.
You're just doing like cleanup. You're just like,
And then there's
That's what I do.
sometimes-
Because they're not going to answer technical a little bit more and all that
And then there's
stuff.
times like
Clean
we'll
up.
hit people and they're like, oh, we already
Cleaner.
kind of already know a little bit about like give us a spiel. And I was like, you guys seem like nice people. I'm not gonna give you the generic one I give it to everybody else.
it's the same one that you give to everyone.
Fucking expensive. Yeah. Sometimes I might like switch around a couple like the sentences instead of I'll go like sentence 1A, switch it with like 2B, like you know.
Listen, I signed up for credit cards for less. I signed up for credit cards for like straw hats at the Leafs game, affecting my credit. I get, you know what I
That's
mean?
a stupid idea.
I know, but I'm just saying, like, of course I'm gonna sign up for your app. If Ricky comes over, like, I'm signing up for that app. It's genius. It's like the elevator thing where it's like people don't like to talk in the elevator because they're worried like that one time someone's gonna be mean to them. Like 9 times out of 10, it's gonna be like a nice play conversation with like a neighbor of yours or.
The book, The Game. So there was the second book of it. After it was like a how-to kind of
Mhm.
book, and it came with the book. It was like a kind of like an extra package or something. And I read it, and it was like a 30-day challenge. What you can do every day to like be more confident and talk to women. And the first one was just say hi to a person of the sex you're attracted to. That was all. Just say hi to a random person of the sex you're attracted. The next one was, okay, after you say hi, start a conversation. And then it was like, but by the end, it's like ask a person on a date, like whatever.
Did you do this for 30 days?
No, I didn't do. I
Oh.
didn't do it. I just like read the book and
Yeah.
like, because it was like a fucking I don't know.
You're like, I've been doing this since I was 9.
Yeah, like for me, I've never had a problem. I don't get shy in situations like that. But it's so true. Like just go up and say hi, smile. Always smile. That's one thing that we tell Dave, because our other coach.
He looks miserable at all times.
And his hangovers last like 4 days. So some days like we'll be on like a 2-day like work bender,
Mhm.
and it's like the third day we're at the park on like a long weekend Monday, and he's like, I can't talk to a single person.
like this.
Dave, just smile. You don't have to say anything. I'll do all the talking. Just
Yeah.
smile.
It looks
Yeah.
kind of creepy sometimes.
And he'll be like,
he like
I'll be
honestly.
on him, they're like, hey guys.
Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah. It's like, oh,
We bring some.
fucking crap,
Ricky and I. The
fucking
good thing is we're both super loud. We bring a lot of energy. Even though we gotta suck it up, we can bring the energy.
Well, that was like Saturday, so like or Sunday when you and DB were hungover.
Saturday I was more
Then you'll
tired,
die.
but I didn't have a hangover. I was just tired on Saturday. I sucked it up. I was fine. Once you start walking, you're tired.
Once you start going, once
But
you get
Sunday,
the energy-
I guess the hangover hit me or something. I didn't drink Saturday. I was like, I went home, slept. I had a migraine all day Sunday, but I was like, you know what? Again, the point I made earlier, like, when it comes to like your business, your endeavors, your project, your whatever it is you're doing, unless you're a company or have management behind you, whatever, like you're the one that has to do it. If you don't do it, no one's there. You don't have a secretary, you don't have an assistant, you don't have management, you don't have all this stuff. When I was in my family business, like we're an established company. If I was at to mail it in one day, this is the problem, right? If I have to mail it in, I'm like, you know what? I can because someone else can help pick it up while I'm not there, which is also wrong doing that because like it never taught me the struggle of having to be like from the bottom up. We're learning that now, and I realized like I didn't want to go this weekend. I'm like, fuck it. Like if I don't go, Rick's gonna go by himself. He's gonna be with Dave, but that's still one person not there. I'm not carrying my weight. Not fair to my partner. So I have to be there. So if I don't go, and because then if they don't go, no one goes. We lose downloads. And if we want to do this and change the world, you got to be willing to do things that people don't do.
That's a lot of the dynamic that we've been trying to sort out.
We need
these
our
last couple
Dave,
years.
dude. We need that
Yeah.
third. We need a little triangle. We need a fucking awkward smile, 4-day hangover. No, I mean, actually, I think we are more like we're missing that like that person that'll fucking go and do it anyway, like that, whatever. But we got to find it in ourselves because we just don't have it. And you'll probably attract that person the more you do it all the same. You know what I mean?
You guys, I
And
feel like
it
you
is
guys
a
have that
high
energy.
too, though. It is a fucking high. Like when we're at the park and we're grooving, and it's like, you know, we hadn't had like a massive day in like 3 weeks almost, and we're at the park on Saturday and we just hit like 2 groups of 8. And then we hit a group of 7. We're like, we're at 20, and it's been like literally 20, 30 minutes. And then groups are coming to us like, how do we
Yeah.
get these bucket hats? How do we saw them? We saw
It started working.
we
really
have
well.
people literally looking at us like, we don't know what you guys are doing, but we just wanted like, what's happening here? Can
Yeah.
we tell us what you guys
Yeah.
are doing.
Once a crowd
Because
gets going-
people are loving you guys, and we're like,
See,
I'm so happy you asked.
Yeah. So this is where you ask what
This
cast.
is the point you asked about cast.
The one thing too, like, fuck, we keep going. This is crazy.
Yeah,
no, it's okay. It's our fault too.
Fuck, it's 10 o'clock.
But the thing too, the most daunting thing is going after the big groups. Going after a group of like 2 or 3 is easy. But the thing is, those are like, you got to do a lot of those. You got to be efficient. You got to go after a group of like 6 to 8.
6 to 8 is prime. now.
Prime. You hit a few of those, you're done your day in like 2 hours. 3, you got to do a lot of 3. So the thing is, then you got to hear yourself talk so much. The other thing is, if you hook a group that's like 6 to 8, even 10, and you get them crowding around you, getting excited, people around them see, and they just walk over.
Like when
So
we,
like we got to go ahead.
when we hit like good birthday parties, and with birthday parties sometimes they're like, whatever, we're in the episode. Anybody who doesn't love our podcast isn't listening at this point anyway. So we give out beer, right? And like beer's a hit. When we go up to a birthday party, so like I had a birthday party and we had a boxed wine because we were having our own little party at the park too. So I had a boxed wine bag or whatever. And I was like, you guys all down this? Boom, pulled out the box. I'm like, I'll give you guys this whole thing. Like, what? What's cast? I'm like, I'm so happy you asked. And that's it, right? Like, and then you got a fucking group of 11 for a boxed wine.
Yeah.
I mean,
Like, man, it's just fucking just going out there doing it. It's
I'm
like,
inspired.
honestly,
I'm
I
inspired.
don't-
If the people that listen are probably
Guys,
fucking
August
inspired
You
right
guys
now.
literally just go around the park and say,
August
hey, can you
28th.
just go, like, it's even easier for you guys. You guys you're on Spotify. I listen to your songs. You can just go and say, hey guys, can you like
Victoria.
go listen to our what's the song that has, I forget the name of it now, that has the Wolf of Wall Street beginning on it? We're not
Oh,
fucking-
mid-20s.
Yeah, that's it. Sick.
Who the fuck keeps playing body? Shout out to Loud Luxury.
Fired me up. Thank
you.
I was listening to that. That's the first one I put on. I
That's
heard
the
it on my
first song we ever made.
Shut up.
well, I think Gast was.
Oh, true.
Gast
I'm
was
a
the first
liar.
song. Yeah.
Anyways, boys, yeah, let's wrap it on this because this is crazy.
This is our record. We've never had an episode this long.
Yeah. We never gone over 2 hours?
We've never gone 220.
Fucking Joe Rogan, baby, we're coming for you.
coming
Anyways,
for
guys,
that
we
3-hour
normally
mark.
actually, we'll ask the questions next time because we're already this late.
Yeah, we're gonna do another episode.
We'll do another
because no
one.
one. I like people might not
We
listen
lose
to your answers. Yeah,
people
we
after
might
an
lose
hour,
people
hour
at this
and a half.
point.
Maybe we'll keep them to
We'll
like
book
an hour
another.
45.
Yeah, we'll do another.
Yeah, we'll do another.
Part
but
2.
guys, dead serious. Any Saturday or Sunday you guys want, come. We're out there all the time. I'm having a little birthday
28th.
party on August 28th.
Yeah.
Any listeners,
Oh,
if you want to
perfect.
come too, show up. August 28th, Trinity Bellwoods. We'll be there. We'll have possibly bucket hats. We'll definitely have Viper glasses. We'll have
You'll have Johnny
booze.
Famos.
We'll have Johnny Famos. The vibes will be effervescent, as Michael Derkley would like to say.
There'll be Evanescence.
Yes. Love it. Before we wrap up, boys, if our listeners want to find out more about you guys, what you're doing, your music, where can they go? How can they find you?
At Johnny Famos on Insta, John Famos on Spotify, Apple Music, johnfamos.com. A lot coming. So if you like what you see, you're going to like everything else more. We're just getting better.
Hell yeah, JohnFamos.com.
Beauty. And then Danielle will post all the links in the bio, so you have everything you need there. And other than that, if you made it to the end, we really do appreciate you because this
I
one
love
was
you.
definitely a long one. Subscribe, give the boys a follow, give me and Georgie a follow, even give Georgie's TikTok a follow too because he needs all the help he can
Sucks.
get. And other than that, sign off, guys. Cheers.
Peace.
Later.
Thank you.